but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The Frey movement continues to gain traction online. The social media campaign urges liberals to detach themselves from the Democratic Party.
For years now, I have watched as the left has devolved into intolerant, inflexible, illogical, hateful, misguided, ill-informed, un-American, hypocritical, menacing, callous, ignorant, narrow-minded, and at times, blatantly fascistic behavior and rhetoric. These are the reasons why I became a liberal. And these are the same reasons why I am now walking away.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Very excited to have coming up in the next segment here, so don't go away anywhere, Brandon Straka, who founded this hashtag Walk Away campaign, where he highlights how he walked away from the Democratic Party. So I wanted to get right off the top here and make sure that you know that that's coming up shortly. If you're not familiar with the Walk Away campaign, you can go to walkawaycampaign.com to find out more about it. But we will be talking with the founder of that. It's kind of taken the political landscape by storm. A lot of people coming out who are not your stereotypical Republicans, at least not as the Democratic Party would have you believe that they are. People who are, the middle-aged, upper-class, white, Christian male. That's who the Democrats would have you believe are the Republicans in the United States. And it's just not true. So we're going to hear from Brandon Straka coming up very shortly. So stay tuned for that. Let's get to the news of the day. Tony, you can go ahead. We'll start with you. There's a lot of follow-up also, too, from the Peter Strzok story from yesterday and the Omarosa story. But first, Tony, what do you got?
This one just caught me, I don't know. This one's not necessarily top of the news right now, but it has been reported in some places. But it really stood out to me. A new Gallup poll shows that the majority of Democrats hold a more positive view of socialism than capitalism. 57% of Democrats have a positive view of socialism compared to just 47% that have a favorable view of capitalism.
And you said that's a Gallup poll.
Yeah, it's not.
When you mentioned that,
right.
When you mentioned that briefly before we went on
like,
air, I was
who
like,
did the poll?
Tell me who did that poll,
Right.
because if I've never heard of them, then let's not go with that story. And you're like, Gallup, and I'm like, Gallup? Like, are you sure it's Gallup? And to find out that the majority of the Democratic Party, of those people that they polled, prefer socialism to capitalism?
Have a more favorable view of socialism than they do of capitalism. What started me down this wormhole was a quote from Tom Perez, who I just think is... I have no positive views of Tom Perez. I heard him talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez earlier this morning, and his quote was... I have 3 kids, 2 of whom are daughters. One just graduated from college, one who is in college, and they were both texting me about their excitement over Alexandria because she represents the future of our party. This is the chair of the DNC saying that a democratic socialist, Alexandria...
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So many people just walked away. Bing!
Yeah. No kidding.
That the chair of the DNC is saying that democratic socialism is the future of the Democratic Party.
Well, I sure hope it is. I sure hope that the Democratic Party is embracing with open arms the idea of socialism, because it's not the way that the American foundation was established. And you don't consolidate power and resources in the hands of a selected few. The people who are serving in government are not the ones who are supposed to dictate the future of individual lives in the United States of America. It's patently opposite of what the whole point of what this experiment in freedom that the United States is constantly engaged in. And you know, do we have it perfected? No. But it's a constant exercise in freedom, in liberty, and being able to succeed, but probably at the cost of every once in a while, or maybe even more often, failing. But you don't get to enjoy success in other countries around the world like you do in the United States of America. Maybe this is partially why people are always trying to come here. Why are people trying to flee Central America and Mexico and you know, swamp our border to come here?
Isn't it
to
funny?
have what we have, to flee
And
what
to tell
they're
us how
trying-
bad we are.
Yes.
To come over here and tell us how bad we are and unfair we are, but they want to. But they obviously think that this is a much better place.
And
than
I
where
don't
they're
even.
coming from.
But I don't even know. Like, that's kind of almost a misnomer too. I don't even know if those individuals are going to tell us
That's a
how
good
bad
point.
we are. It's the Democrats who are
That's a good
holding
point.
them politically hostage. It's a ruse. It's so fake. It's such a fraud. It's just like telling people who live in very low, poverty-stricken neighborhoods. And I'm telling you that this is not a black problem. I know plenty of people, you know, in and around where I live in the communities. You know, I can drive 50 miles in any direction from my home in the Metro East, into Missouri, into Illinois, and hit extremely impoverished black neighborhoods and extremely impoverished white neighborhoods. But what the Democrats do with those people is they say the only way that their situation gets any better is if you vote Democrat so that those people can be provided for. But it's only ever to a certain extent. You're never going to get out of those situations. You're just going to have a little bit more than you had if nobody did anything. But the thing that is discounted in that entire scenario is the individual and their ability to provide for themselves, to make an effort to get them out of their situation and get up one more rung on the ladder of life. The Democrats are guaranteeing people that they will be secure in the certain lot in life that they are currently in. And when it comes to the immigrants who are fleeing these poverty-stricken countries that have oppressive or non-existent governments, they want to come here. Why is that? There is a reason. And if you want to turn the car that is driving down the road and make a hard turn left into socialism, you're going to fail even those people who you love so much who are fleeing their countries to come here. It's a hostage situation of people who feel like they have no other place to go because the Democratic Party has told them so.
I want to give you just a little bit more on Ocasio-Cortez, who is the star, the future of the Democratic Party, according to the chair of the DNC.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Post put out an article basically saying that that their fact checkers have been working double time to try to keep up with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's claims. Washington Post points out several issues. For example, the newspaper took issue with her claim that unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. The Washington Post shot this down, noting the number of people working 2 jobs is down from the recession and has remained steady at around 5% in recent years. Another thing that she said was a statement that ICE is, quote, required to fill 34,000 beds with detainees every single night. But both the Washington Post and PolitiFact noted that this is an urban legend and said that ICE was only required to maintain that many beds, not fill them. They're required to have that many beds available.
It's ridiculous.
One more good one. The Washington Post called her out for saying a recent study found Medicare for All would cut health care expenditures when it found the plan would raise government expenditures by $32.6 trillion over 10 years. So she goes out there and they talk about her going out with Bernie and, you know, we're in Kansas. These are the things she's saying. Mm-hmm. She's saying that she's telling these groups of people, we did a study. We found that Medicare for All will cut health expenditures. $32.6 trillion increase in expenditures.
And when you talk to when you've heard the left react to that number, they've said that it'll actually save the United States money. So
Unpack this quote. Unpack this quote. Why aren't we incorporating the cost of all funeral expenses of those who died because they can't afford access to health care?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's going to cure.
I don't even know how to keep up with that sentence.
She's going to cure diabetes and funerals in order to. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Sorry, I took too long.
No, that's okay. Katie, let's
Tony,
get Katie in and out here real quick.
She's fascinating.
So
there's always more to talk about with her.
Rascal Flatts, their concert last week got abruptly stopped, and the reasoning for that was because there was a bomb threat that happened, which is absolutely terrifying. We saw this happen to an Ariana Grande concert a year ago.
Yeah, it's a real threat. It's not like. Yeah, this has happened before.
Totally.
So.
It's something similar of that nature. And just quickly, this is kind of something that you should start thinking about and looking for whenever you go to big to concerts or something like that with a lot of people. I know I went to Fair St. Louis and I had an amazing time over a month ago. It was fantastic. But the first thing that I did was look at my surroundings. There were skyscrapers all surrounding the arch. I looked up at those, making sure that, I was in a safe area, and something like this, it's happening more frequently, and that's terrifying.
And it's used the right word. It is terrifying. That's the whole point of terrorism, is to incite terror in people. And we're never going to know, apparently, what the Las Vegas shooting was, the motive behind it. Like, they've basically closed that report and said, we don't know.
Oh, somebody knows.
What? Don't go.
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Don't go there.
On Vegas, I
don't think anybody knows.
I'm a conspiracy
I'm
theorist.
sure that I'm sure that there might be some living people who have ideas or clues that might potentially paint a less fuzzy picture, but I just can't believe that this far out that they just don't know. And the scary thing there is that maybe people can just snap. And I mean, he snapped and plotted. It's not like it was it wasn't you don't do that in the heat of the moment.
Not a heat of the moment. No, that's for sure.
But he lost his mind apparently and plotted and just fully executed.
I spent 7 or 8 nights in hotels last week.
Yeah.
There was a person in my room every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And the one hotel told us that if you don't want towels or anything after 4 days, they come in no matter what to vacuum and give you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be there longer than 4 days, they're going to come in at least once. This guy was there for like weeks, days and days.
I think longer. Wasn't it over a month? Wasn't it months?
And nobody one time went into that room?
Yeah. Frank, what's going on?
Well, if you don't have the guns laying out.
They were in suitcases.
Right.
I mean, that's how he got them in.
They were all packed up.
Well,
I trust my hotel staff not to go through my stuff in my room.
Well, I mean, we have to figure out what equates suspicion and suspicious behavior. And I think that is something that we are recalibrating every day that goes by, is what do we look at as suspicious?
Kind of a low-key measure, but it's an interesting one. Around town, we see it quite often. We see a lot of those temporary license plate tags, the paper ones on the back of cars. And it really seems like a lot of them are outdated. Well, they are. The Missouri legislature is working to take care of that, sort of. Beginning August 28th, when you have your temporary tag and you go to get your license and pay your sales tax, you're going to be required to turn it in. That's the new law, to turn that in, because what's happening is those temporary tags, people buy their cars, they get the temporary tags, they go get their license, they keep that and maybe put it on a different car, give it to a buddy, give it to a family member.
I'm very skeptical of all of the temporary tags, because when I had my car stolen downtown, they, as soon as they evaded they didn't really have to evade anybody because no cops.
They just kind of walked away with your car.
They left me standing there. 7.5 months pregnant when they took my car and everything in it. But they would get to a place where they could immediately rip the plates off my car and slap magnetic temporary tags on the car just to that it doesn't look suspicious.
Sure. Yeah.
So that if you're, if someone says it's a white Ford Taurus 2010 with this
plate number on it,
blah, blah, blah. I don't even know that was another thing. Know your license plate, folks, because I didn't even know what my plate was and all my information was in my car. But they take the temp tags. Not everybody, but that's how it's been used. And I've known that this has happened before with other people who have had similar experiences that I've talked to since it happened.
It's just a black magic marker. A lot of them,
some of them. Well, I'd say more of them are now printed. Mm-hmm. They look a little more formal, but you can see a big date on them. And the folks down the hall at KMOX, Charlie Brunn and his listeners send him in pictures of outdated temporary tags they see on a daily basis.
Glover has a great story about altering.
We'll have to ask.
Temporary.
We'll get back to that.
they are working to remedy it. However, a little glitch to this new law. The new law doesn't require the folks giving you the brand new license plates. If you don't turn in one, they can still give you the new license plates.
So there's no teeth.
On. You are required to turn it in, but the folks on the other side aren't required to follow the law and not give you something.
Well, if you're in the state of Illinois,
the word required needs to be removed from that sentence.
Well, they need to just do it in the state of Illinois. That what they would do in that scenario is say you can turn it in, or we will charge you $150. If you don't have it. So bring it in, and then otherwise the state would be like, cha-ching, cha-ching.
But that's not how they wrote the law.
Well, sure, certainly. All right, well, let's get to a break here because I don't want to miss talking to Brandon Straka, the guy who started the walk away movement. He's been all across national media. He's been really recalibrating the way the Democratic Party is viewed by people who maybe aren't happy with the socialistic approval of the Democrats that are running for office today. So we'll talk to him as soon as we come back. Don't go anywhere. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter and Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. We'll be right back.
I'm just a link in your chain. Oh, you got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey guys, it's Glover. We have teamed up with Michael's Flooring Outlet to find DGS Superfan with a shout out from their favorite show. Get featured on our website and they'll receive a limited edition DGS Superfan t-shirt courtesy of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Get registered now at 971talk.com/super.
Savage summer continues at Tactical where right meow, we have Oakley tactical gear and Oakley sunglasses.
Are you telling me I never have to go to the mall and deal with some gender-confused millennial when I need a new set of Oakleys?
Never again.
Wow.
Kennelwood Pet Resorts, you've heard me talking about them, and, I tell everybody I know, especially ones who have asked about how our dog is doing, about Kennelwood Pet Resorts. The board and train process, I think, is the best way to go. It was certainly the best way for my family. When we went on vacation this summer, we took Rosie to Kennelwood Pet Resorts there in Maryville, Illinois, a brand new facility. It is so state-of-the-art. They have all the things that you need for your pet there. We took her there, and we let her stay there for a week, and then while she was being boarded there, they spent the days training her. The great thing about that is with my busy lifestyle, my husband and I are both employed and we have 3 kids. It was so great to have that first week of training done where they controlled the entire environment. And then when we came back and we picked up Rosie, they put us through an hour tutorial of what she's learned, what we need to do, what we shouldn't do. And it has worked so well. I'm telling you what, we've had our dog in our kennel when we've been eating dinner, when we've been trying to put kids to sleep, when we have company over. We don't do that at all anymore. We have our dog out with us whenever we want. She doesn't have to go in the kennel at all. We put her in there to sleep because she likes it. And that was a gift that was given to us by Kennelwood Pet Resorts. You can contact them at 314-429-2100 or visit them online at kennelwood.com.
Get started on your home's to-do list. Is your siding cracked, faded, and rotting? Tired of putting a Band-Aid on your home? Now, through August 31st, Lakeside Exteriors is offering you 18 months interest-free financing or free entry door with the purchase of siding, soffit, and fascia. Give your home the facelift it deserves from professionals you know and trust. And call Lakeside Exteriors at 636-978-5000 or visit us at lakesideexteriors.com. Lakeside Exteriors, helping you create your dream home.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary when you wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and also reduce my snoring. My wife happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 314-279-9000. That's 314-279-9000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
Are you a baby boomer with questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? How about the future of U.S. tax rates and trends? Does your investment portfolio fully support your income needs? Heisey Advisory Group can help you answer these questions. Register for one of our no-cost retirement classes on Thursday, August 23rd or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. We will be covering 3 essentials: income planning, investment planning, and tax-efficient strategies. So call now to register at 314-909-1116. If you're 100% sure you have your retirement plan in place and can live well, this course is not for you. But if you've even had the slightest doubt regarding your retirement, call now. Seating is limited. Call and register at 314-909-1116. That's 314-909-1116.
Dave Glover.
Give us your nominations on Twitter. Who you would like to hear on the think tank to join Kill Me
at Tony Colombo 971 or Rachel at Rachel Z 971.
Dave Glover, weekdays at 3 on FM News Talk 97.1. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Days fall away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes.
Hey, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So good to be with you on this Tuesday. And I'm super excited to talk to our next guest here, Brandon Straka, who is the founder of the Walkaway campaign. You've seen the hashtag Walkaway, walkawaycampaign.com. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So I gotta just let you set the table here. You were a Democrat. You walked away. How'd that happen?
Well, I'm not a Democrat anymore, but yes, I was a Democrat for my whole life. I was a lifelong liberal and Democratic Party voter. I'm a gay man, and so I just I feel like found myself over in that camp by default, which I think happens a lot with minorities in America, whether it's racial minorities or LGBT people, or even women to a large degree. But so it's something I never really questioned. It's just sort of where I was. But as years went by, as I say, I became increasingly disturbed and uncomfortable with where we were headed in terms of identity politics and political correctness, which the ways in which it's, things were just becoming more and more oppressive. And I feel like, these are tools that people were using to censor other people and kind of suppress other people. But it was really after the election of 2016 when Trump got elected president that I started to see just how truly dishonest and toxic the liberal media is and the left-wing politicians, particularly the way that they manipulate minorities. And that became very clear to me thanks to a friend of mine reaching out to me after, because I was going on social media and like crying and ranting, about Trump being elected. And a friend of mine reached out to me with a video clip, which was a compilation of footage that really clearly showed how the liberal media had sort of created a narrative about him and his followers and his campaign, and they were isolating moments and taking them out of context and spinning stories about him being a racist and a bigot and a homophobe and his followers being exactly the same. This was really, really eye-opening for me, and so that's what sort of began the journey of me changing.
So, Brandon, what was it that you thought that moved you to be so emotionally wrecked when Trump won? Was it did you really think bad things were going to happen, or is it something that is just kind of emotionally connecting between you and other fellow Democrats that I'm just curious how much policy thought goes into that frustration, because there certainly was a lot of it. We saw a lot of people. It appeared as though the world was going to end when President Trump got elected. What caused that reaction for you?
Well, and these are great questions that you're asking, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, I did think that the world was going to end, and I thought, because once again, the Democratic Party and the liberal media do an incredibly effective job at marketing themselves towards minorities. And what wasn't clear to me then, but is very clear to me now, is the ways in which they manipulate how they deliver the news to us through this filter of fear and intimidation and manipulation, telling us that we're in danger, telling us that our civil rights are in danger. So leading up to the election, as you know, the stories that were being put out constantly were, that he's anti-Mexican, that he's anti-gay, that he's anti-black, that he's anti-women. And they were constantly putting out these stories saying, if he's elected, X, Y, and Z terrible things are going to happen. And once he was elected, it's not even as if they sort of had a come to Jesus moment and said, okay, look, our tactics failed. Why don't we just now support our president? They actually doubled down at that point. And after his election, I mean, it was like the day after his election, they started putting these stories out saying that hate crimes were spiking, that he was encouraging this to happen, that he was expected to sign executive orders repealing gay rights, reversing the clock on civil rights, that he was going to do harm to black people and Muslims and Mexicans and women and gay people. And for people like myself who, for years we believed the liberal media, and we believed that the liberal media had our back and were looking out for our best interests. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, they literally are just trying to scare us and use fear to control our behavior and to control the way we vote. I didn't know that at the time. I think a lot of people on the left still don't know that. But yeah, I mean, it's what was it, a month ago, 2 months ago? They're putting out stories saying that his administration is putting brown children in cages. I mean, it's outrageous. Yeah. People, thankfully, the light has gone on for me, and I see clearly what they're doing. But there are a lot of people on the left who are not seeing clearly what they're doing. The media is doing.
Yeah. Brandon Straka, the founder of the Walk Away campaign. You can learn more about this at walkawaycampaign.com and everywhere you see those hashtag walk away notes on Twitter and Facebook. It's really compelling. And, the thing that is interesting about you, and I can relate to it to some extent, but certainly it's different. I'm a 34-year-old female mother of three. I'm a millennial. I'm supposed to be a Hillary Clinton supporter when you look at the demographics. And when someone say, no, I think that I certainly voted for Trump and I think he's doing a fine job. Are there things about him that maybe I would do differently? Certainly. But he was a clear choice over Hillary Clinton for me. people look at me, and even Hillary Clinton herself says that I voted the way I did because my husband told me to. Clearly, she
or your
had,
boss,
yeah,
or
yeah,
your boss,
yeah,
your male boss.
yes, exactly. So you're a gay man, and people would assume that because you're gay, that every gay person is going to think the same way politically. Every woman is going to think the same way. Every millennial is going to think the same way. You can go down the racial line as well. That is it's pretty awful to think that the Democratic Party is relying on you to think with a sexual preference and not with the brain between your ears, right?
Right, absolutely. And what's really even more tragic than that is that it's working. I mean, that mentality is actually has worked successfully on gay people. It's worked successfully on black people, all these different groups. I actually did an interview earlier today with an LGBT publication, and the person interviewing me was upset with me for taking the stance that I took. And I was like, look, I don't understand this. Like, you're a gay man, I'm a gay man. I'm actually the one who's, of the two of us, I'm the one who's saying we as gay people don't have to be limited in our choice. We should have the benefit and the privilege of having all the same rights to choose who we to participate in the political landscape and decide for ourselves who's the best candidate for me, what's the best political party for me. Why should we have to be limited just because of our sexuality? That people on the right aren't doing that. That message is coming from the left, saying that we don't have choices, saying that this is how we have to vote or this is what we have to believe. That's oppression.
Are most of the people in the LGBT community receiving you that way, or is there some diversity in the way people are embracing your free thinking?
Well, it's a combination of both. I mean, people on the left, I think, fundamentally misunderstand what it is that I'm trying to do, which is that I am trying to empower gay people, and I'm trying to empower racial minorities, all minorities, to see that we have a choice, that you don't have to be stuck in an ideology or stuck in a belief system or stuck in a political party just because of how you were born, the color of your skin, or your sexual orientation. Now, there are people who either already walked away from the left who are gay, or people who are always on the right to begin with who are gay. I'm getting messages by the truckload from those people saying, thank you so much for what you're doing, because we've been in a whole different kind of closet over here on the right for a long time. And I'm kind of kicking that door down.
Yeah. It's bold, and it's not, I mean, it's very brave of you to do that, because it certainly is easier for you to not. It would certainly be more simple for you to be like, yeah, I'm going to just, I'm going to go vote in November, and I'm going to check some boxes that have ours next to them. But at the same time, I'm not going to tell people about it, because why would I bring that upon myself? I think it's bold of you to do that, and it's impressive.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's true. Once again, I mean, it's about empowerment, and it's about showing minorities in America that we have a choice. It's about showing them that we, despite what they're told constantly by the media and the politicians on the left, not hated by people on the right. We're not, people on the right want us to be a part of the same American experience that they're having. I mean, it's about true equality. I mean, it's about true empowerment. That's what's happening on the right. Mm-hmm. And I really encourage anybody to go to the #WalkAway campaign group page on Facebook, where they'll see all these testimonials. It's a testimonial campaign, and they'll see a broad spectrum of Americans telling their stories about why they're leaving the left or why they were always a conservative.
Yeah, Brandon, I think it's fantastic. Last question for you. It sounds to me like a lot of the reason you walked away from the Democratic Party was because what the Democratic Party was doing no longer belonged to you. You didn't identify with it. Do you think that the Republican Party, the GOP, is doing a good job of welcoming folks like you into the party, or do you have any advice for the GOP to embrace these walkawayers?
I think we're seeing improvement. I definitely don't think it's enough. Now, I don't think that this comes from any place of any maliciousness whatsoever. I think they legitimately don't know how to do it. I was very impressed to see Ben Carson doing a speech last night. It was brought to me on Facebook, which he brought up the #WalkAway campaign. And in his speech, he said to the people in the audience, we've got to do a better job of showing these people who are walking away from the Democratic Party that they have a place with us over here on the right. And it's absolutely true. The Democratic Party has done an excellent job of marketing themselves to people minority groups in America, but the Republican Party has not done an effective job of speaking to these groups, and that's got to change.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a good job of making the issue known to people, and just being sometimes the first one to stand up is the hardest, but it's equally important, if not more important. So Brandon Straka with the hashtag #WalkAway campaign at walkawaycampaign.com. We support what you're doing and really are grateful for your time today.
Thanks, Annie. It's great talking to you.
You too, Brandon. Thank you. I love what Brandon is doing. And you know, is he who you would expect to be a part of this Republican Party? He's a gay man. And I love that the genesis of his transition from Democrat to Republican came in watching the freak out after President Trump won and saying, wait, maybe this isn't as bad as it is because somebody shared something with him. It just goes to show you how important dialogue is.
I wonder if Brandon or others like him would go back to the Democratic Party if it came back to them.
Yeah.
Or if they've
well, it seems to me like
rejected them now because of where they've gone.
I just think a lot of Democrats are doing that. I think a lot of Democrats are looking at the Democratic Party and saying, this is not the party of my father who was, maybe you're a union home or whatever. We've talked about that a lot on this show as well. I want to get your thoughts on this. So if you want to weigh in on this, Brandon Straka there with the Walkaway Campaign, walkawaycampaign.com, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, or on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. What do you think? How's the Republican Party doing welcoming in these walkawayers? You think they're doing an okay job? We'll talk to you up next. Stay tuned.
Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. It'll be more humid today. Some morning sunshine, then mostly cloudy this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm, high 84. Rather cloudy and muggy tonight with a couple of showers, even a heavier thunderstorm, low 72. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid, some showers and a thunderstorm. Some of the rain can be heavy, high 81. Thursday, clouds, some sun and humid with a shower or thunderstorm, the high 88. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 90.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is audio. Text the word audio to 72881 by the end of the... Are you okay? A little crash back there. Here we go. Text the word audio to 72881. Good. By the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's audio to 72881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. Don't text and drive.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers water heater, duct sealing, and attic insulation services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
It's the middle of August, and it's a great time to get a hold of Banner Construction to work on that siding that's on your house that's dingy, and it's time to replace it. Maybe you've got some missing pieces, or maybe you've replaced some pieces over the course of time, and it has just lived its life. It's time to put it down. That James Hardie fiber cement siding is gorgeous. You are going to have the best looking house on the block when you put this James Hardie fiber cement siding on your house. And when you make an investment like that, you want to make sure that it's installed exactly the way that it's supposed to be. You can't go anywhere else other than Banner Construction. They are the elite preferred James Hardie contractor. That means they know exactly what they're doing. They have the expertise to properly install the top quality James Hardie fiber cement siding on any home. And the best thing about Banner Construction is they love challenges. They love to find the perfect design, the perfect solution for any challenge. That's what Banner Construction does. You can call them at 314-569-1050. That's 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
Protecting our families means putting sexual predators behind bars.
Every 98 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted in the United States. Many of those cases go unsolved because of a rape kit backlog.
In Missouri, Attorney General Josh Hawley uncovered thousands of untested rape kits sitting in storage. DNA evidence that can now be used to help bring sexual predators to justice. Now Josh Hawley is investigating why victims were let down and pursuing the perpetrators. Josh Hawley is fighting for solutions that get justice for victims and strengthen law enforcement. Protect your family and your community. Call Josh Hawley at 573-751-3321 and urge him to keep working to get sexual predators off our streets and justice for victims. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
If you're in debt, get out of debt. If you need cash, get Smart Cash.
Smart Cash is the low-interest equity that's sitting in your home. This is James Hawkins of Golden Oak Lending. In today's climate of low mortgage rates and increased home prices, now's the time to get low-interest money.
We're fast, we're local, and our low rate today is 3.5% fixed.
At Golden Oak Lending, we're not just a mortgage company on the internet. We're here in town, and we give you choices. Debt consolidation to pay credit cards, cash out for purchases, free pre-approval, even a renovation mortgage that gives you money on your home's future value.
Call Golden Oak Lending. If we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. 314-567-GOLD. 567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
15-year fixed, 4.634 APR, 10% equity with approved credit. NMLS 114937, 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Omis with Better Sleep STL. Most people are unaware that breathing disorders can affect children as well as adults. Mouth breathing and the lack of proper sleep can have negative effects on a child's development, performance in school, extracurricular activities, and social relationships. Signs and symptoms in children may include snoring or heavy breathing, difficulty falling asleep at night or staying awake during the day, ADHD-type mood behavior, recurrent ear infections, crooked teeth, and even bedwetting. The good news is there are early treatment options available to remedy pediatric sleep disorders, including permanent corrective dental treatments, allowing your child to get a better night's rest and a healthy start in their development. In addition, my office is one of just a few facilities certified in the safest, most effective treatments to naturally promote pediatric airway growth and development. For more information, please contact me today at 636-978-0226 or visit HealthyStartUSA.com to schedule your child's complimentary evaluation.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
Omarosa was fired.
We've got to talk to you about leaving the White House.
I didn't know that.
Donald Trump is a con.
Lowlife. Which is a lowlife.
Calling me a lowlife.
Stay connected.
Mr. Strzok said, F Trump.
The FBI fired Peter Strzok.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Okay, Rich. Play video games before. I know what I'm doing a little bit. What is this guy doing?
Younger, smarter.
Sanctions. Sending the message to Putin.
Better.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. A regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Interact with Annie on Facebook, The Annie Frey Show.
I'm not really sure how it goes, but it
Welcome back. We were just talking to Brandon Straka, who is the founder of that hashtag walkaway movement, that walkaway campaign. It's really compelling. He, I think he's probably been around for maybe 2-3 months now that he came out and identified as a Republican, as somebody who walked away. But he's also a gay man, so naturally, you don't see many people being very vocal about being Republican or being conservative when they are a part of the LGBT community. And it was bold of him to do that. It was very interesting to watch when he first came out with this, and then it kind of exploded. The people who would tell their own hashtag walkaway stories. And the big question that I'm glad he had the opportunity to answer it was the idea that the Republican Party, nobody can out Republican or out conservative another conservative. And I've seen this kind of fading in the age of Donald Trump. You kind of have to, because Donald Trump certainly isn't a conservative's conservative when it comes to all of the other things that you might have identified with when we were maybe in the George Bush years or in the primary season. But what does it mean to be conservative? It certainly has become more libertarian in the last few years. It certainly has become focused squarely on smaller government, which is why I wish that we would focus on cutting spending and addressing this massive deficit that we have. I know that the tax reform was a good move, a good conservative platform for the president to get through. It was a success, but it needs to be met with spending cuts.
Why are there no spending cuts?
Because that means you have to cut funding to something, and it's politically impossible to survive.
You're right, though, about there's more of a shift to libertarian type thinking. Every single Republican lawmaker talks about the need to cut spending and to shrink government, but nobody does anything.
But the second that you say, we need to change the Social Security age, people freak out. Even though if you're a 34-year-old paying into Social Security right now, you're thinking, what am I going to get back from that? And, I remember reading an article, and I do not pretend to be an economist, so don't quote me on this. But it was an idea. And the thing that I like is the discussion of ideas. I like throwing things out that are discussions on how to solve a problem, even if it's not the solution. Let's not just squash every idea that gets, brought up to the surface because we're too afraid to be attached to something that might change the course of Social Security. The course of Social Security is not headed in a very positive direction, at least not for people who are my age or people who are younger. But the idea was we have a student loan crisis right now. We've handed out loans to people who we A, probably shouldn't have been handing out loans to, and B, they were getting jobs or not getting jobs in a bad economy. I graduated college in 2006 and after the summer of 2006, and everything started going to pot right after that. And it was a really bad economy. My husband ended up going back to school to get a teaching degree because the public sector hadn't been affected the way the private sector was in 2008-ish. But as is usually the case, the public sector catches up to the private sector when income tax collection goes down because less people are making less money or have less jobs, whatever. And what the proposition was is student loan crisis is a real deal. What if we allowed people to tap into their future Social Security withdrawal and apply that to student loan forgiveness? They could, if you weren't paying, what is an annual or a monthly student loan payment for most people? It's probably somewhere between like $300 and $600 a month. Mm-hmm. And that's for a decade for a lot of people, if not more for longer. If you refinance and you make it whatever.
Oh my God.
So if
we paid my wife's
forever.
Student loan bills forever.
And it's a huge amount. And the suggestion was if you could forego 3 or 4 years or 5 years or whatever the number was of taking Social Security benefits, so you don't take them till 72, but then you get your student loans forgiven, does that balance out? Like I said, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it's a neat idea. It's an interesting, compelling idea. And that's the type of thing that we need to be talking about because spending has to get cut. Smaller government, folks. The mayor of Ferguson coming up next. We'll be right back.
A lot of nasal congestion, especially at night, facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
Head to Mid-America Arms. From firearms to accessories, you won't find a better selection in Mid-America, including guns, rifles, knives, ammo, holsters, cases, and more. From Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Benelli, Sig Sauer, and others. Ask their no-commission sales assistants about their trade-in policy, transfers, rebates, and info about concealed carry and basic firearms training. Mid-America Arms, 8205 Gravois Road, and at midamericaarms.com. That's midamericaarms.com.
Dear beloved home, you've always been there for us. From our kids playing in the bathtub when they were little, to teaching our son how to shave for the very first time. But now we have 3 teenagers, and it's created quite the traffic jam. Right Bath by Mosby gave us a wide variety of design choices, all in the latest styles to reflect our tastes. Thank you, Right Bath, for helping us bring an end to the daily bathroom wars, and for helping us love our home again for years to come.
Call 909-1820 or visit rightbath.com. Right Bath by Mosby. Home never felt so good.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. In just a few weeks, my team will begin climbing one of America's most iconic mountains, the Grand Teton in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This year's climb is benefiting 5 incredible charitable organizations. We've already raised over $20,000 for the kids, and we ask that you please help us to reach our $50,000 goal. To learn more about our 4th annual Climb for the Kids and to make a donation, please visit thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
A radio.com station.
He won't take the stand. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Paul Manafort, the former Trump campaign chairman, decides not to testify as the defense rests in his trial over past business dealings. Fox's Jared Halpern is live in D.C. No, Paul Manafort's defense team will not call any witnesses. Asked by the judge if he would testify, Manafort responded, "No, sir." Prosecutors rested their case yesterday after spending about 2 weeks of hearing from witnesses describing offshore accounts and other financial maneuvers designed to hide millions of dollars of income from the IRS. Manafort is also accused of bank fraud. A defense motion to dismiss charges was denied by the judge. Closing arguments are now set for tomorrow. Lisa. Thanks, Jared. Primary day in 4 more states as the march to the midterms continues. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Lisa, Democrats are hoping for a blue wave in key Midwestern primaries. In Wisconsin, 8 Democrats are on the ballot for a chance to take on Republican Governor Scott Walker. He's been out on a bus tour rallying his base.
You need the vote of yourself, of your family, of your friends, of your coworkers, of your neighbors, of anybody else you can tell it to.
Also in Wisconsin, Democrats are running for the seat of outgoing House Speaker Paul Ryan. On the Republican side, Brian Steele has Ryan's endorsement. There are contests for both Senate seats in Minnesota, including that of Democrat Al Franken, who resigned. Lisa.
Thanks, Rachel. Voters also at the polls today in Connecticut and Vermont. Dozens of people trapped in their homes by flash flooding in New York State after pre-dawn downpours in the southern tier region, blamed on the same system that's been flooding parts of Pennsylvania.
We've had significant issues across the state and issues in areas that, frankly, don't normally flood.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo touring some of the hardest hit areas, and the threat not over yet. The National Guard assisting. Fox News, fair and balanced.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time 103. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. Carbon monoxide poisoning is suspected after 2 women were found dead inside a St. Louis home. Authorities say a man who had slept in the same home awoke to find them dead about 9 o'clock this morning and called for help. Preliminary air testing indicated the presence of carbon monoxide, but further testing is planned. A judge has ordered a former insurance carrier for the city of Columbia, Missouri, to pay $5.3 million to a man who served 10 years in prison before his conviction for killing a sports editor in Columbia was thrown out. Ryan Ferguson was released from prison in 2013 in the 2001 killing of a Columbia Daily Tribune sports editor. A new federal lawsuit accuses the St. Louis County School District and the state of failing to comply with laws requiring to help homeless students. The lawsuit filed yesterday in Jefferson City says the Riverview Gardens School District has violated the rights of homeless students for years by delaying or preventing their enrollment. This news update brought to you by Mattress Direct.
It's back. At Buffalo Wild Wings, we always look forward to Wing Tuesdays because every Tuesday, when you purchase a traditional snack or small wing, you get one free and hand spun in one of their 21 signature sauces or seasonings. Dine in or take out, restrictions apply. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-262-2917 to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
If you're retiring in the next 5 years, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with Stifel and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday from 11 till noon on FM News Talk 97.1. Retirement is a huge step, and when it comes to investing your retirement assets, you can't afford to make mistakes. mistakes. It's vitally important that you work with an experienced professional to guide you through important retirement decisions. If you're retiring soon, we should meet to develop a clear plan for your retirement goals. Your meeting is an opportunity to understand your retirement situation and discuss how you can proceed. Of course, your consultation is free of charge and requires no obligation on your part. If you're retiring in the next 5 years, now is the time to start planning. To schedule your free retirement plan review, visit bobstockdale.com or call me at 636-448-7655. That's bobstockdale.com or 636-448-7655. Stifel, member FINRA, SIPC, and NYSE.
Listen to why Drew from Afton referred Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage to family members.
We first contacted Michael several years ago when we bought our house. Got a great rate, service was terrific and everything. And then just recently we refinanced. Michael was extremely knowledgeable, experienced, friendly, and accommodating, and just real easy to work with. We never felt like a number. We knew right away we were in good hands. And we did our research. We contacted several other companies, and Michael actually got us the best rate. He saved us a lot of money. In fact, we were so pleased that when our son, daughter, and our nephew were ready to buy their first homes, they all went to Michael as well. So Michael's sort of a member of the family.
Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. That's 314-336-6050. Or at CommunityMortgageSTL.com. Community Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 224143 and 250353.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's good to be with you today. I want to direct you folks to the podcast that we put up every day after the show at radio.com. And also, if you go to 971talk.com/Annie on our blog there, we will have the interview we did with Brandon Straka, the founder of the Walk Away movement. And it was a great conversation that we had there. I just encourage you to check it out.
Fascinating
Yeah.
stuff.
I think he was really good at presenting his case and confident. It was fun to talk to him. I wanted to move quickly here to our guest, Mayor James Knowles, Ferguson Mayor. Very excited to have you on the show today. Thanks for giving us some time.
Yeah, absolutely, Annie.
So there's the story that's out. The headline is Audit Finds Improvement at Ferguson Municipal Court. And Tony highlighted this for me yesterday. Tell us about these developments in the city of Ferguson.
Well, a couple years ago, the state auditor announced they were going to come through and review our municipal court. Actually, this started under Tom Schweik. Unfortunately, due to his untimely death, he actually wasn't the one who did the audit. But Nicole Galloway did it. She was pretty rough on our courts, but I'll be honest, I think some of that might have been grandstanding for her upcoming reelection.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, we reviewed the findings. We obviously made it a priority to make sure that as they reviewed progress in our reports, that they would have positive things to say. And, of course, as you saw in the paper, the findings are that we've made tremendous strides in making really tightening up some of the safeguards. A lot of it always has to do with making sure there's proper documentation, proper checks and balances, especially as it pertains to money coming in to the courts. And unfortunately for the city of Ferguson, we were under tremendous turmoil when they did the first audit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've done a lot in our city over the past couple of years, and we got some good marks for that.
Mayor Knowles, Tony Colombo, how are you?
Great, Tony. How are you?
Doing good. Wanted to ask you about you just touched on it, the origins of all of this. Do you feel like the courts and the police there in Ferguson were used as scapegoats when they couldn't find any official wrongdoing in the Michael Brown case? And or was there real problems in your city that needed to be addressed?
So, Tom and I talked about this before he died, and he called me personally and said, look, there's a lot of scrutiny, and everybody are talking about your courts. I'm going to come in there. I will be fair. And he told me, he said, you can look what I've done with other courts. Obviously, you can see what I've said in other courts. We're going to be doing this in the next year, and I would encourage you to, prepare yourself for it. And shortly afterwards, he unfortunately died. About a year later, they began this audit. And what we've always felt is unfortunate is it was, instead of being something that was realistic, I mean, they came in and they complained about our documents that were damaged during the construction of the police department, where the courts are. Mm-hmm. They were damaged during the construction while there was a riot outside. Unfortunately, things happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that we do a bad job.
It's not a sign of wrongdoing.
Right. We're the ones that told them we caught somebody, or at least we suspected somebody and fired somebody for stealing. And we brought that up to them, and of course they jumped on it, and I think it was not only just unfair, it was completely a lie to say that they caught this person, which they didn't. We went to them initially and said, let me show you what we found. You guys will obviously see this. I mean, so we had safeguards, we had controls, things happened. We caught it. They took credit for catching it. And, during the first round, I think Nicole Galloway thought she was going to get some, street cred right off the bat by getting appointed, jumping in, pouncing on Ferguson like a lot of these people like to do. Mm-hmm. And now she's running for re-election. And by the way, she needs Ferguson voters to get reelected. Now everything's honky-dory. I think there's a little bit of politicization of that, but I'll take it.
Well, we're speaking with Mayor James Knowles, mayor of Ferguson, and your city is worldwidely known. People are aware of Ferguson, and the thing that St. Louisans understand is that how people are aware of Ferguson elsewhere, it doesn't really speak to what Ferguson really was or really is right now. And you're going to have to put up your fists and fight these fights. And ultimately, if there are some things that you can button up, you can button them up. There's nothing wrong with just working on constantly trying to improve. My question is, what's it like to be the mayor of the city of Ferguson, where you still have people who have been living there for a long time, who have been living great lives there, before 2014, and they're still living there now, and they're proud of their hometown, and having to deal with things like this at the same time?
I feel like it always frustrates me that it takes away from the real progress. If people were really concerned about making real progress or real change, there's other ways to do it. And I think sometimes, oftentimes, there's always the people who want to make sure, again, that they get their political points, or some people have their own agendas, their own personal agendas, because they like to profit off of the unrest or the turmoil in the community, either politically or some other way. That's very disheartening. What is wonderful and what I experience every day is when you see businesses thriving in the community, when you see new businesses coming, when you see businesses that are adding on to their buildings or expanding, when you see people coming into our community, when you check on Zillow and it's not full of people selling their homes, but instead, we do have people moving into the community, wonderful people. And oddly enough, I've met a number of them recently who are transplants from other states. I was kind of surprised that they chose Ferguson, and they admit to me that it wasn't what they expected, but either their realtor or somebody turned them onto it. They saw it, they fell in love with it, and I think that gives me really real hope, because we know that people outside of the St. Louis area don't realize what happened here.
Mayor, almost out of time, but I wanted to quickly just touch on that. You know, I'm a Florissant, Hazelwood, born and raised North County guy, and advocate for that area, and it gets, you know, North County in general gets a bad rap, and of course Ferguson, you know, has this unfortunate stain on its past. Before the issue with Michael Brown, Ferguson was a city that was really on the comeback. I mean, people were talking about what a great job with the City Walk, and like you just said, more people moving back into that area and back into that city, and then this happened. What's it like in Ferguson now? Have you guys recovered from that? Is the City Walk thriving? Are you guys, you know, what's it like to live in Ferguson right now? Is the turmoil behind you?
We've got a great new pizza place, you know, one of those wood-fired oven pizza places that just opened up inside our new loft building. Has 40 wonderful, pretty high-dollar lofts, you know, especially for North County. It's amazing what you see got going on in Ferguson. The brew house is thriving. The wine bar, the cigar bar, which opened up again since the unrest happened. We're right now in the permitting process on another loft building that's being built in downtown Ferguson. It just keeps going. Well, we're also in the permitting process on a senior housing facility. So this will be, you know, active living senior apartments, the kind that you see down, you know, in the Del Mar area, the kind that you see, you know, in the central part of the central corridor of the city. Wonderful stuff happening. Real breath and life being breathed, you know, into that area, and you know, there's businesses that's still trying to make up for losses in 2014. There's no doubt about it, but you wouldn't know it by the activity you're seeing.
Mayor, we're speaking with Mayor Knowles, Mayor of Ferguson. A two-part question here: who has helped make an effort to rebuild Ferguson, either physically or, you know, the community there? Who's helped? Lent their hands to invest in repairing what was damaged in the wake of the Michael Brown scenario?
You know, when you really look at either the businesses or the infrastructure, I mean, this is all Ferguson people. And there has not been anybody from the outside who's come in with rode in on their horse and saved the community. You hear about money being donated to, quote, Ferguson. But these are all people, Emerson, you know, United Way. People gave money to groups and organizations around Ferguson. Ferguson-owned businesses, Ferguson-grown people are starting these businesses for the most part. These loft buildings are being built by Ferguson-grown developers. It's really impressive. We've been lucky enough to get some interest from outside people who've invested, people who then, you know, adopt Ferguson as their home, either as a home or a business. That's really been the story of Ferguson. I mean, the people are resilient, the business owners are resilient, and the leadership there has been resilient. No one's come and bailed us out. No one's come and saved us. We've certainly appreciated the help that we've gotten through the years, but really, the real story is the resiliency of those businesses and those people.
Is that because you just mentioned all of the homegrown Ferguson people doing good for the community? Going back to the unrest and the turmoil and when things were bad there, in your opinion, was that Ferguson residents or were those people out-of-towners?
Look, I mean, people will always say, hey, I was a Ferguson resident and I was out there. I'm sure you'll find plenty, but when you talk about people who damaged our community, when you talk about people, by and large, who were out there, you know, performing for the cameras, you know, those people were not Ferguson residents. Sure, there's people who have mixed feelings about what happened that day on, you know, on Canfield Drive. That's an issue that, at least at this point, in Ferguson residents' minds, they want to move past.
Mayor, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay, and that's I think where Ferguson people really are.
I think that the focus, the thing that other people really latched on, the movements that formed out of this, that really latched onto this, wanted to highlight the racial division that existed in Ferguson, and not because Ferguson was something that was special. They were trying to use Ferguson as a smaller stage for what's happening on a larger scale. How do you feel about race relations today in Ferguson as the mayor there, maybe compared to 2014 or just in general?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I would tell everybody Ferguson isn't the issue; it's the stage in which all of this took place. I don't know that race relations are better in our country than they were 4 years ago. I don't think they were. I think if you look in Ferguson, if you go out Friday night to the plaza at 501, when you see the Ferguson residents out there dancing together, drinking, eating, having a good time, you're not going to see white and black. You're not going to see one side or the other. You're not going to see one half of the plazas over here is white. You're going to see an integrated community enjoying each other's company. That's what we were largely before 2014 and today still are. Is there animosity that's out there in individuals' minds and hearts? Absolutely. That does not define our community. That is not what our community is. You come out, you'll see us. Tony will be out for an event we've got going on here in a month or so. You'll see an integrated, diverse community really enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I think it's important that you are out there having your message be heard, and we appreciate you doing that here on the Annie Frey Show. Mayor James Knowles, mayor of Ferguson, thanks for adding some information to this story because it's out there. We first came across it on CNN, so you guys are nationwide still.
Well, thank you guys for being the voice for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks, Mayor. Mayor James Knowles there. The story that gets immediately attached to the word Ferguson, as you would understand from the mayor speaking there and friends that I have that have lived in Ferguson, they're so frustrated with the story that is out there and the story that really exists on a minute-by-minute basis.
Yeah, and the reputation that they have,
Yeah.
which is very unfair.
Yeah, so it's always good to have him fill in the blanks a little bit and tell us the other side of the story. Let's take some phone calls. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. You got a line open here. You can give us a call. Katie will answer it for you. She'll be so chipper. Katie is just so chipper. She can't wait to talk to you. And we'll get you on the air. You guys are next. Stay tuned. A lot more Annie Frey Show coming up next.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Right now, get a free Ballistic Advantage barrel with any complete AR-15 upper build. Or get a free Hollow Sun optic with any complete AR upper and lower build. Tactical St. Peter's.
Convergent Wealth Management, they use the slogan Wealth for the Way. They care about your needs and they're focused on values. They are using values as a way to lay the foundation for everything that they choose to do at Convergent Wealth Management. They're a comprehensive wealth management firm. They have investment, estate, retirement, educational funding with things like college planning, which can be a little bit daunting. If you're my age, I'm 34. I have 3 children. They're going to hopefully go to college one day, and I need to know what to do to get on the path to making sure that they aren't limited in their options. They can take care of all of the needs and the wants and the desires that you might have and put you on a plan to be very confident where your future is. They also are involved in risk management. They have small business consultations and retirement plans set up. If you're thinking about managing your money, if you're not happy or satisfied with the way your money has been managed, if you're tired of people telling you need to, look into a certain service because it's ultimately better for the company than it is for you, you have to go to Convergent Wealth Management, have a consultation with them, tell them that you were sent by Annie Frey, and they will treat you the best. ConvergentWM.com.
Hey, Tim Jones here for my guys at Universal Windows Direct. It is time to take care of all those drafty, chipped, foggy windows and call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Their patented foam super spacer technology created by NASA creates a better seal than traditional metal spacers. Your windows will last longer and you'll save money on your energy bills. These new windows will make your home more beautiful. Every window is custom made for your home, from wood trim to premium vinyl, the added security of cam-style locks. It's like looking at a brand new home, all backed up by the true lifetime warranty. You're covered for as long as you own your home, 30 years to the next homeowner. That makes Universal Windows Direct windows the last ones you'll ever need. Stop suffering with drafty, chipped windows. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. For every window you buy, the next one's free. There's no limits to that. 0% financing for 36 months. Free installation, all backed up with the true lifetime warranty. As long as you own your home, 30 years to the next homeowner. How can you beat that? Call to schedule your free in-home estimate today, 314-878-0300. Go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you, the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Close for Brinton Vision. My lovely bride, Fern, of some 36 years, has had some vision problems for a while now. Kind of dull vision, some blurry stuff, couldn't see distances. So we started doing our homework, and we found Dr. Brinton. Fern went in, had a procedure done. She had a lens implant, okay? Dr. Brinton does 7 different procedures, LASIK and 6 others, all FDA approved. Fern went in, I think I told you, a 20-minute procedure. She came out and she was seeing things that she had literally never seen before. She'll go into our backyard. We've been in this house 3 years, and she'll start looking. I never really noticed that. I didn't notice that. Dr. Brinton is great. He will sit down with you and explain everything. No question is off. Anything you need. In fact, he'll say, if anything comes up after the meeting, please call me, ask the question. I want you to feel very secure about this. This is your site. BrintonVision.com. Call 314-375-2020.
Stay in touch and up to date with the 97.1 newsletter, delivered straight to your inbox. Become a 97.1 Insider, and you can receive our weekly newsletter, local and national breaking news alerts, plus exclusive offers from 97.1 advertisers. Don't miss out. Sign up now at 971talk.com.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You came along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me till your kiss helped me name it.
Yet another close advisor to President Trump has betrayed him.
The White House is basically a reboot of The Last Supper. Oops, all Judases. Now, that's a really disturbing image. Now we know for certain why Trump didn't get a dog, because he knows the dog's just going to write a tell-all, White Housebroken, my rough tenure as presidential pet. By Sparky. Sparky is the name of that dog, in case you're wondering. The latest person to turn on Trump is former Trump advisor and realtor giving you a business card at a funeral, Omarosa Manigault Newman. Omarosa has written a salacious new book filled with shocking details that you already knew. And today on where? Today on Today, she explained the subtle meaning behind the book's title.
The book is called Unhinged. Who does that refer to? Oh, Donald J. Trump, absolutely.
There's more from Stephen Colbert, but I'll spare you the rest of it. You know,
I am shocked that he does that every single night and people watch. I don't watch late night television. I don't watch the talk shows anymore. A long time ago, I was a Letterman fan and I used to watch fairly regularly, but it's been a long time since I watched late night talk shows. Every time I hear a clip from Stephen Colbert or you read, and I have flipped it on for 5 minutes at a time just to see, it's literally a show about Donald Trump. And it's literally a show about ripping the president. I can't believe that there's enough of an appetite to do that every night and still have people watching. It's the same thing every night. If he was doing talking about something that I was completely interested in, I still couldn't watch that every single night. It's crazy to me.
Omarosa is now facing charges from I don't know if it's charges. I'm trying to find the piece of paper here. I'm switching gears.
You mean a rant about Stephen Colbert more? So
No, you kind of stole my thunder there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Trump campaign files complaint against Omarosa, says she breached confidentiality agreement. Donald Trump for President Inc., which is interesting. It's the campaign. So that's a key point here, has filed an arbitration against Omarosa Manigault Newman. Is that how you say it? I've been avoiding saying her last name on purpose. Good, I got confirmation.
She's like Madonna. Just stick with
I know, she is. I like them the same. With the American Arbitration Association in New York City for breach of her 2016 confidentiality agreement with the Trump campaign. So when you got to know that whenever anyone signs up to be a part of a campaign or some sort of effort like this, there are things that they're going to be privy to that they don't want other people to be made aware of. There are things that there are stories that they're going to developing stories that they're going to be putting together, campaign goals and plans that they are not going to be able to go out and talk about. And I would assume that those would be, you'd have to be signing things that would keep you from sharing some of that information. And I would assume that is what this is referring to.
Seems like that would be enforceable while she worked for the campaign.
Well,
but once he was hired, once she was hired into the White House and started getting paid by you and me,
not necessarily. You'd have to see the contract. You'd have to see what type of information, especially when it comes to taking. I've heard people refer to a recording pen, and that's what she would have taken in there, because we had a call yesterday talking about how clear the audio was. It was certainly very clear. So the president's campaign has made. Has taken some action on this, filing a complaint saying she breached her confidentiality agreement. So, and also it's very possible that the information she shared was maybe part of something that was discussed during the campaign. So maybe the conflict there is that if you were part of a campaign and then you share information that was also part of that campaign later on, then you would still be in breach. So I don't know. We'll find out, though. And it's clear that the Trump administration is not taking this lightly, and they're fighting fire with fire. So I want to get to this phone call here real quick. John, thanks for calling the show.
Thanks for having me on.
You're
Appreciate it. Just a quick question. I had just gotten into my car at the end of Mayor Knowles' interview, and don't know if the subject was addressed at all, but some stuff anyone answer the question why Ferguson allowed this?
John, I think we got to get you a better connection. The question that was up here wanted to know if the National Guard was ever called in or why it wasn't called in. And the governor is the person who makes that decision. The governor is the one who makes the call, and they were present and they weren't sent in. You guys were saying it was they were stationed at
about a day late. They were called. They were actually activated by the governor. Yeah, they were brought into the area and put on standby,
prepared, and lots of questions arose from that decision. And certainly, there's politics that are involved in there, but I just thought it was my recollection of the whole scenario when everything was going down. I was stuck like glue to my television watching this unfold because it was unbelievable and it was in our backyard. The world was watching. And it was right here, and just watching the coverage of it and how some people were getting the story wrong, and some people were focusing in on certain details that I didn't necessarily think were the actual story. But the absence of leadership on a statewide basis, and even ultimately, I think it was an opportunity for the president to lead a community into a place of peace and healing, and it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel that way at all. And it was a pretty sad thing to watch, and it's a sad thing to reflect on. It's good to see that Ferguson is actually on the recovery. We're going to take a quick break here. 971talk.com/Annie for the blog, and also Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. If you haven't liked the page yet, go give us a like. We'd really appreciate it. I'm going to put a Facebook poll up over here over the break, so you're going to want to check it out, and we'll talk about that as soon as we come back. And if you want to weigh in on anything we've talked about, plus that interview with Brandon Straka, the founder of the Walk Away movement. We just spoke with him as well in the 12 o'clock hour. Your thoughts, 314-241-9797. Be right back.
It made me feel so tired before the day I met you.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. It'll be more humid today. Some morning sunshine, then mostly cloudy this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm, high 84. Rather cloudy and muggy tonight with a couple of showers, even a heavier thunderstorm, low 72. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid, some showers and a thunderstorm. Some of the rain can be heavy, high 81. Thursday, clouds, some sun and humid with a shower or thunderstorm, the high 88. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.
$1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is greet. Text the word greet to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's greet to 72881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service offers residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Michael's Flooring is what a wonderful place to go when you are trying to make a decision about flooring. Or if you are building a new home and you've been looking on like Pinterest or through websites that have flooring and you're looking at everything, it just becomes like you kind of glaze over because there's so many options to choose from. What you want to do is you want to go into Michael's Flooring Outlet and you want to see everything. You want to touch everything. You want to feel the soft carpet under your feet or the sturdiness of the laminate or the vinyl or the hardwood flooring that you want to put in your home. It's great at Michael's Flooring Outlet because they have everything laid out on the floor for you, and you can actually experience what it would be like to have it in your own home. When it comes to carpet, I love carpet. I have carpet in my home, and we are looking to replace our carpet upstairs before we would sell our house. And I will be looking into all of my options and all the different kind of padding options that they have. And that's what is great about Michael at Michael's Flooring Outlet. He knows all these options for you. You can go check out their Mohawk Smart Strand Silk with DuPont Sorona, or also their Mohawk Smart Strand Ultra with DuPont Sorona. It's a fantastic product, and you got to see it and feel it to know exactly how great it is. 4 locations: St. Charles County, West County, North County, and also in Darien Prairie. You can visit them online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Protecting our families means putting sexual predators behind bars.
Every 98 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted in the United States. Many of those cases go unsolved because of a rape kit backlog.
In Missouri, Attorney General Josh Hawley uncovered thousands of untested rape kits sitting in storage. DNA evidence that can now be used to help bring sexual predators to justice. Now Josh Hawley is investigating why victims were let down and pursuing the perpetrators. Josh Hawley is fighting for solutions that get justice for victims and strengthen law enforcement. Protect your family and your community. Call Josh Hawley at 573-751-3321 and urge him to keep working to get sexual predators off our streets and justice for victims. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Are you a baby boomer with questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? How about the future of U.S. tax rates and trends? Does your investment portfolio fully support your income needs? Heisey Advisory Group can help you answer these questions. Register for one of our no-cost retirement classes on Thursday, August 23rd or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. We will be covering 3 essentials: income planning, investment planning, and tax-efficient strategies. So call now to register at 314-909-1116. If you're 100% sure you have your retirement plan in place and can live well, this course is not for you. But if you've even had the slightest doubt regarding your retirement, call now. Seating is limited. Call and register at 314-909-1116. That's 314-909-1116.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Wednesday, will there be a convention at States, and what does that mean? We'll talk to one of the organizers. Plus, Genevieve Wood and Keith Antone on the bottom line.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Cuomo wants to end your Second Amendment more than anybody. Cuomo wants to take away your Second Amendment. Now, he called me and he said, I'll never run for president against you. But maybe he wants to. Oh, please do it. Please. Please. No. He did say that. He did that. Maybe he means it. The one thing we know, and they do say, anybody that runs against Trump suffers.
President Trump being very President Trump about Cuomo running against him for president in 2020. And I have not heard anybody talk about anyone running for president on the Democratic ticket that doesn't scare the pants off of me, other than possibly Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the least threatening Democrat that could run, I think. I don't want Joe Biden to run. I don't want him to win. But it definitely occurs to me that the folks that are out there are definitely their fringe. It's just like that poll that we talked about earlier in the show that makes it so that it's socialism is preferable to capitalism. 57% of Democrats say. We just put a poll up on our Annie Frey Show Facebook page, so make sure you go to the page to vote on it. And it's a question that I have a very deep interest in what your opinion is on this. And the question is, do you think it would be wise for President Trump to be less aggressive in his tweets? Not to stop tweeting, because that's never going to happen. And the truth is that a lot of his tweets are just absolutely fine, normal tweets that could be from anybody. Anybody could be doing it for him. But when it comes to the way he tweets at times, do you think it would be wise for him to be less aggressive in his tweets? So you can go there and vote. It's just a simple yes or no. And if you take that poll and you want to comment below why you voted the way you did, we'll look through those and we'll read some of them on the air. And Mike says he is who he is and he's not a phony. That's true. That's definitely true. I'll tell you what my thought is on that, and I'll piggyback that with something I put on the Facebook page this weekend. And after 45 minutes of trying to respond to people, I kind of regretted it. But I didn't take it down because I thought that would be disingenuous. But I do wish the president would recalibrate the usage of his Twitter. I don't think it's wrong for him to make statements. I don't think it's wrong for him to talk about things that he doesn't like. I don't think it's wrong to highlight things that he does like. It's just sometimes I feel like maybe it does go a little bit too far. Now, does that lessen my support for the president? No, it doesn't. So calm down, folks. It doesn't make me dislike this president. I just wish that at times he would maybe chooses. I don't necessarily love the use of the word loser in a tweet from the president, because the way I see it, a lot of times the tweets that end with something like that, if you just took that part out of the tweet, you'd still make the same point, but without having to tag that on. I have a feeling maybe everybody disagrees with me. That might be possible, but I can handle it. 314-241-9797. If you want to weigh in on that, you can give us a call. And let's see here. Richard says, I got to read this in my head before I read it out loud. He said, times like what he said with Omarosa, he could have held back calling her a dog. Just feeds the fuel. Yeah, exactly. I don't care if you want to go out and say Omarosa is, can't believe she recorded us or recorded our administration in the Situation Room and explain that you're going to file a complaint against her, whatever. I don't care about talking about the issues. But then the dog thing, it's not my favorite. I just don't love that. Lloyd says, because he can't believe anything from the mainstream media, I'd rather hear directly from the source. Well, Lloyd, the thing about that is I think that he can still say and make exactly the same points, but by brushing up a little bit on how he delivers his point. And the interesting thing here, we've got 34 votes in the poll so far, and I just put it up. Do you think it would be wise for President Trump to be less aggressive in his tweets? 47% say yes and 53% no. So this is actually pretty split down the middle. The thing that I put up on Facebook this weekend, and the realization I had afterwards is that the point I was trying to make was too nuanced for Facebook. Lesson learned. You folks taught me a lesson. I've moved on. But there's a video compilation that was put up. It was a BuzzFeed video, so of course it was flattering to President Obama. But it was basically a montage of things that President Obama did that humanize him, that make him very likable. And the point that I made was that President Obama is likable. Now, don't go driving off the road right now or fall out of your desk chair, because I can explain myself. You can be simultaneously extremely likable and an extremely awful president. Just by virtue of being a likable individual, that doesn't make you a good president. So by saying that the president was likable, I said likable means easy to like, and is why the many who were unfamiliar with his policies or couldn't care less about politics don't understand how terrible he was as a president. Being likable doesn't preclude him from being a failure as a president. In fact, I think his likability made him more dangerous. And the reason why I put these out there together, and the reason why I wanted to do this poll, was because President Trump isn't likable because of the person he is. He's likable because of how he's being the president. It's his policies. It's his political nature that I like so much. And when you compare the human, the father and the husband and the human that Obama is and that Trump is, that's where the left calls in this show all the time. And they haven't actually, since I kind of called them on it. I got to give the callers credit. I haven't had this call in a long time, but for the first probably 4 to 6 weeks of doing this show, anybody who wanted to make the case against Donald Trump would ask me about if I'd want him around my children, which is an absolutely ridiculous statement to make. Because first of all, he's the president of the United States. I would love for my children to be able to meet a president of the United States, President Obama included. But secondly, Donald Trump isn't in the Oval Office to be the moral leader for my family, for my children. One of the tenets of conservatism is to focus on the home and focus on the family. And President Obama, while he was, as far as we can tell, a good father and a good husband, his policies, what he was in the Oval Office to do for me as the representative, because he was, in fact, my president. Even though I didn't vote for him either time, even though I didn't support him either time, he was still my president. He's still the president of the United States. And if we end up at a war with somebody, he's still the person in charge of defending my home country and my land and the family that I have here. He's my president, just like Donald Trump is the president for every single individual living in this country as a citizen of the United States of America who despises him. He's their president. But the truth of the matter is, you have the folks on the left, and they're only comparing Barack Obama the man and Donald Trump the man. And the people on the right are comparing President Obama and President Trump. But when you have conversations that intersect left and right, when people are trying to go at one another, the left comes at it and says, how can you support a man like Donald Trump? And the right says, how can you support a president like Barack Obama? And the truth is that each individual human being has some good things about them and has some bad things about them. But when you're the president of the United States, what my concern is with you is how you handle the office of the president. And in the case of Donald Trump, he has, in effect, given the office of the president back to the people. He's deregulated things. He's made government smaller, although, maybe just barely even scratching the surface. There's so much work to do. And that's why I ask, and that's why I think that you can answer the question, obviously, however you choose to. I'm very okay with you completely disagreeing with me. But when it comes to how this president tweets, and when it comes to his choice of words, his choice of insults at times, the question that I have is, do you wish that he would tone it down, not shut it off? Like I've said before, Twitter is President Trump's Samson hair. If you cut it off, if you cut him off from Twitter, he would lose his power, because his power, like the comments that I'm getting that are kind of flooding in here on this poll right now, his power exists in Twitter because he can go straight to you. You can open your Twitter app and you can read a message from the President of the United States that is filtered through nobody. And that is a powerful thing. And I feel as though if the president were to continue to be vocal on Twitter, you can deliver the same messages, you can deliver the same points, but if he refined the way he did it, I don't know that it would be such a bad thing. Todd says he should have a little more class, but bring it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Just a little bit more class, just so that when you have the conversation about what President Trump is doing and saying towards Omarosa, we're not talking about the dog comment. We're talking about the fact that this scumbag Omarosa, who never cared about anybody but herself when she was serving in the White House, who only has ever cared about herself, who, in my opinion, was not the greatest hire in the first place, and it was good that they identified that and rectified that problem. Let's talk about that. Let's not get so sidetracked with the comment, the word of him calling her a dog, because it's not for him to do. I still want him to tweet. I still love this president. Y'all want to talk about it, and I want to talk to you about it as well. If you don't mind holding on the line, we do have one line open right now. We'll get to your phone calls as soon as we can, but Justin Dyer, who is the professor of political science and director of the Kinder Institute on Constitutional Democracy at the University of Missouri, is going to talk about the right to work passing. So stay tuned. That coming up. Plus, go vote at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Should President Trump be less aggressive in his tweets? Your phone calls and Justin Dyer as soon as we come back.
A lot of nasal congestion, especially at night, facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office, and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Learning to play the piano will change your child's life. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. We decided to expand our Learn to Play philosophy and added a Yamaha music school for children to both South County and St. Charles locations. The Yamaha method is world-renowned, and studies show that playing music dramatically improves performance in school, raises IQ scores, and even more important, it lowers depression and raises self-esteem. But it has to be fun, and Lacefield Music specializes in making music fun. We have something for everyone: piano, voice, guitar, strings, brass, and woodwind. We have teachers for the very young, age 4 and up, private teachers for serious students, and for those that just want to play for fun. We also offer Yamaha group classes, and we have the perfect class for the young teen that's learning to play with YouTube. Give your child a head start in life today. To enroll, call 314-329-5320 or go to lacefieldmusic.com and click on Yamaha Music School. 314-329-5320.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1,
a radio.com station.
A high-profile trial winds down. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The case against President Trump's former campaign chair, Paul Manafort, over past business dealings will soon be in the hands of a federal jury in Virginia. The defense resting today very quickly. Fox's Jared Halpern, live in Washington.
Now, Paul Manafort will not testify at his trial. Neither will any other defense witnesses. Attorney Kevin Dowling tells reporters outside the federal courthouse.
I believe the government has failed to meet their burden of proof, and we've rested on that.
The prosecutors spent about 2 weeks laying out their case, calling on witnesses to describe offshore accounts and loan applications designed, they say, to hide millions of dollars of income from the IRS. Closing arguments are now scheduled for tomorrow. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. A scathing grand jury report on clergy sex abuse just released in Pennsylvania.
The largest, most comprehensive report into child sexual abuse within the Catholic Church ever produced in the United States.
State Attorney General Josh Shapiro says the report accuses over 300 clergy of abusing more than 1,000 children over 7 decades, also finding a systemic cover-up.
The abuse scarred every diocese. The cover-up was sophisticated. And all the while, church leadership kept records of the abuse and the cover-up.
The grand jury subpoenaed and reviewed 500,000 documents, officials in several of the dioceses condemning abuse in written statements. An immense tragedy. That reaction from Italy's premier visiting the site of a bridge collapse, blamed for at least 22 deaths in Genoa. A more than 200-foot section of 4-lane highway giving way during a severe storm with heavy rain. The official cause will be investigated. For now, rescue crews are still searching through the rubble. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Listen, my life changed because someone was there to get me to use drugs. No one can understand. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to think that having someone who will listen is gonna help make it better. I'm realizing that I need help.
I'm listening.
I need help. I'm realizing that I think that having someone who will listen is going to help make it better. Whether or not they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to understand. No one can get me to use drugs. My life changed because someone was there to listen.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 2:03. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. A pair of new lawsuits seeks to remove 2 of 3 medical marijuana questions on the upcoming Missouri ballot. The lawsuits filed in Cole County last week claim that one of the initiatives failed to collect enough signatures, while the other one broke the law when it circulated its petitions. Carbon monoxide poisoning is suspected after 2 women were found dead inside a St. Louis home. Authorities say a man who had slept in the same home awoke to find them dead about 9 o'clock this morning and called for help. Preliminary air testing indicated the presence of carbon monoxide, but further testing is being done. A judge has ordered a former insurance carrier for the city of Columbia, Missouri, to pay $5.3 million to a man who served 10 years in prison before his conviction for killing a sports editor in Columbia was thrown out. Ryan Ferguson was released from prison in 2013 in the 2001 killing of Columbia Daily Tribune sports editor Kent Heitholt. This news update brought to you by STL FinceWorks, where your satisfaction is our passion.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about the top political issues ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts and PodcastOne.com.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary when you wake up in the middle of the night, gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and also reduce my snoring. My wife happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 314-279-9000. That's 314-279-9000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
Do you remember me?
Sure. You and your husband were moving to another home.
This is where we moved to.
It's beautiful.
Please, look at all the junk they left behind.
Point to what you would like to disappear, ma'am.
Well, let's start with that broken bird bath. That old swing set, and that nasty old yard furniture.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point.
And those broken tree limbs.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Don't miss the Cardinals Hall of Fame weekend, presented by Edward Jones, when the Redbirds host the Brewers August 17th through the 19th. Friday night, it's the Mystery BP Pullover, presented by Coca-Cola and Schnucks. And Saturday, it's the Hall of Fame Mystery Baseball Cap, courtesy of Edward Jones. Sunday wraps up the Hall of Fame weekend with a Dizzy Dean watch, presented by AT&T. That's August 17th through 19th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
On Friday, August 17th, the Cardinals host the Brewers. That night, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older get a surprise at the gate when they receive a mystery BP pullover, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Schnucks. Be a big hit this summer with your own Cardinals mystery BP pullover. That's Friday, August 17th. The Cards, the Brewers, and the mystery BP pullover. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
If you're in debt, get out of debt. If you need cash, get Smart Cash.
Smart Cash is the low-interest equity that's sitting in your home. This is James Hawkins of Golden Oak Lending. In today's climate of low mortgage rates and increased home prices, now's the time to get low-interest money.
We're fast, we're local, and our low rate today is 3.5% fixed.
At Golden Oak Lending, we're not just a mortgage company on the internet. We're here in town, and we give you choices. Debt consolidation to pay credit cards, cash out for purchases, free pre-approval, even a renovation mortgage that gives you money on your home's future value.
Call Golden Oak Lending. If we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. 314-567-GOLD. 567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
15-year fixed, 4.634 APR, 10% equity with approved credit. NMLS 114937, 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the Radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the Radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I just put up on our Facebook page about, 15 minutes ago, that the question is, do you think it would be wise for President Trump to be less aggressive in his tweets? We have 117 votes right now, and it's 61% yes, 39% no, and I'm really enjoying the comments on here because I see the most consistent mentality that I see is I love his tweets. I don't want him to pull a single punch. Maybe a word or two could be chosen better. That's kind of the idea that we're seeming to get for the most part. And I'm actually kind of surprised that yes is winning because I'm afraid, but I was thinking that I would maybe be in the minority. I'm going to get to a quick phone call here before we get to our guest, Justin Dyer, to talk about some important things that have to do with the state of Missouri. Gene, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, Annie, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Just kind of quickly here, I'm from here originally and lived up in Connecticut, real close to New York City for the better part of 13 years. My wife is from up there, and I agree exactly with what you're saying, but people have to understand the mentality of a New Yorker. That's how they are. They're brash. They don't pull any punches, and you know where you stand with them unless they're a 100% shyster. But that's how they work.
And that's the way most politicians are, Gene. That's a great point and a really interesting perspective on it, because it's really one that I hadn't considered. You know, we talked the other day about the PGA coming to St. Louis and how nice, everybody kept saying how nice we are, and that's because we're nice people. You talk when you hear people talking or referring to Midwesterners, we're just a nice bunch of folks. We're polite. We are not aggressive. You're not going to see people on a regular basis like cussing out the window in traffic and, you know, shaking fingers and stuff like that. You'll see it from time to time, of course. That's not like it never happens here. But the things that are common occurrences in New York City are definitely going to be different in St. Louis. But the truth is that most of the country doesn't function the way New York City does. It is an exception to the rule. One other real quick phone call here. Let's get to Paul. Paul, thanks for calling.
Hey, Amy, how you doing today?
Doing fine, thank you.
Good. Hey, I think part of the appeal, at least my belief, the appeal for President Trump and his tweets is that he comes off as very, very human and very down to earth, like the rest of us. And one of the comments I made to your screener was, if we're all sitting around drinking a beer and barbecuing and talking with our friends, what he's tweeting is exactly how we're talking as an average American. So I think he comes across. I honestly believe that I could sit down with President Trump, have a couple of beers, have some barbecue, talk to him for a couple of hours, and walk away from that discussion with him feeling like an equal. And, and Lord knows, I'm not an equal to a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
But he comes across that you could sit down with him and have a conversation and not walk away feeling like you're lesser than he is. Whereas you get Hillary Clinton or some of these others, they make it very well known that you are beneath them.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
There's an elitism about it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so I think really the big appeal with his tweets, yes, and I think also we are used to our presidents having a little more decorum. We're used to our presidents being a little more proper and prim. But quite honestly, haven't we had enough of that?
Yeah.
I love this president who does not do anything under the norm of our past presidents. He is so above and out of control with being that normal. It makes him, to me, absolutely awesome, because I'm so happy to see somebody that tells me
Paul,
the way it is.
I think you make a great point, and there's something relatable about it, and I think that's valid. So, you know, the question is can he continue to communicate through Twitter the way he's communicating? Is there any way to make it a little less of a sideshow on the side? You know, I was just looking at the scroll up there on Fox News, and it was talking about him referring to Omarosa as a dog. You know, don't forget about all the other news going on in the world. That's what's on the scroll. So let's shift gears real quick. If you're holding right now, stay there. We're going to take phone calls for the rest of the show, 314-241-9797 if you want to get in line. But first, let's talk to Justin Dyer, a professor of political science. It's great to have you on here. And you know, the words constitutional convention, I see those come up and go away on a regular basis, and I think it's something that's confusing for people. And Missouri's going to have the opportunity to decide on this. Thanks for joining the show, and tell us a little bit about this.
Well, thanks for having me on today. The Missouri Constitution in Article 7 of our Constitution says that every 20 years, the people of Missouri will have a chance to vote whether to have a new constitutional convention. We've done this in 1962, 1982, 2002. Each one of those times that it's been put to voters, we voted no on having a new constitutional convention. We're going to have the next opportunity to vote on that in November 2022. And so now is the right time, I think, for us to think together about what this would look like and whether something we want to undertake.
So when Missouri is going to weigh in on this, what kind of impact, what kind of wave does a constitutional convention have for the state of Missouri?
Well, it gives us an opportunity, if we want it, to do a comprehensive revision of our constitutional document. And people always forget how important state constitutions are to our daily lives. We have a U.S. Constitution. We talk a lot about it. We venerate it. People like the U.S. Constitution. At the state level, we don't have that same kind of attachment to our state constitution, and people aren't really as familiar with it, but it's extremely important. So much of local government has to do with property rights, family law, taxation issues, public schooling, and a host of other issues that really impact our lives on a day-to-day basis. And so this is an opportunity for us to think about the text of our Constitution, the institutions we have, how they operate, whether they're working efficiently or not, and to amend it in a way that's arguably better than what we've been doing in the past, which is every November we have some kind of amendment on the ballot that we vote on, but we do it in a really piecemeal fashion. So since 1945, when we ratified our current Constitution, we've amended the document 110 times, and it's grown over 3 times the length that it started in. Now, by contrast, our federal Constitution's been amended 27 times since 1787. And so the state constitution is growing at a pretty fast pace, and it's hard actually to keep up with everything, to update it, to revisit our institutions, and to think in a comprehensive way about what we want to do and what kind of changes we'd like to make.
What's the process behind actually calling for a constitutional convention, and then how does it work?
So it gets put to the voters, and it's simply a yes or no. Do you want to have a new constitutional convention? In 2002, it was 65% no, 35% yes. If it was a majority the other way, if people said, yeah, we want to have a constitutional convention, then it actually lays out in Article 7 exactly what this will look like. We would select 2 delegates from every Senate district in the state, and then we would select 15 delegates at large as a voting populace. Then those delegates would convene in Jefferson City. They would organize themselves, create committees, consider articles to the Constitution. Whatever they drafted then would go back out to the voters for another vote about whether to ratify it or not. And whatever they put together wouldn't take effect until the people approved it.
Awesome. Well, Justin Dyer, give us some information about if people are looking into this, if they're curious about it, if they're maybe really in favor of it and they're excited to hear us talking about it today. Where do people find out more information?
Well, I wrote an essay. It's called Constitutional Revision in Missouri. It's available on showmeinstitute.org. And I'd say that the history here is actually pretty interesting. There have been 220 or over 220 state constitutional conventions in our history. So it's this kind of hidden aspect of American government. It's really fascinating. So you can learn more at showmeinstitute.org.
That's right. We love Show Me Institute here on the Annie Frey Show at 97.1. Wonderful work there, and this article is certainly included in that. We will make sure that we tweet it out with this interview and then get that article linked up there at 971talk.com/Annie. Thank you so much, Justin. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. The Constitutional Convention, we hear a lot about those, and it's something that you need to pay attention to from the standpoint of you don't get to just like whip one up. It doesn't just happen. This possibility comes like every 20 years, which is pretty interesting. So the next one would be 2022. If you're interested in that, make sure you go to the showmeinstitute.org and see what kind of extra information they have there. Read that article and educate yourself. That's what the Show Me Institute is great for. We're continuing to monitor this poll about the president's tweets. Should the president be less aggressive in his tweets? And let's see, I'm pulling it up here. It was just here and then it went away. Before it was 60% yes, he should be less aggressive. Now it's 59%. We got 136 votes in here. Lots of comments coming in here as well. And interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. The rest of the show here, we're going to take phone calls. So 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, toll free at 866-455-9797. David, what do you think?
Annie, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
I think that the president's tweets are a direct reflection of who he is.
Yeah.
In the Trump world, if you will, I believe that he looks at life as winning and losing. And he often, in his campaign, I've listened to this man very carefully. He said one of the things that he's going to do, he's going to get so tired of winning. It's strength, peace through strength. That's a concept of winning and losing. He's a winner. I mean, look at him. And that's the way I think he approaches life. There is no second place. He literally obliterated every GOP candidate on that platform, and I watched him. And when he took down Jeb Bush, that's when I said this man's going to be the next president of the United States. And I think Trump is also aware of his personality in that people, who don't really know him or follow him closely think he's a little bit off or crazy, and he uses that to his advantage. He wants, like in the instance with Kim Jong-un. And Kim himself admitted that President Trump was the only one that could have brought him to that negotiation. And I believe it.
Yeah. David, so do you think he needs to keep tweeting exactly the way he's tweeting, or do you think that there's any softening of his tweets that could benefit him and his presidency?
I hear what you're saying. He probably could tone it down a bit, but it's who he is.
Yeah.
And I think anything less for him would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
I hear you saying is it wouldn't bother you if he did, but he's not going to.
No, he's who he is.
Yeah.
He's genuine.
All right, David, thanks for calling the show.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. Let's see here. Let's get one more call in here real quick. Sandy, thanks for calling.
Yeah, there's a difference between being aggressive and inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You can be aggressive without being inappropriate. If a child in school calls somebody a dog, they'd be reprimanded because it's inappropriate language to speak about someone else in that way.
But Sandy, I don't think you can compare what children are supposed to do in school to grown adults in the political landscape. I mean, that analogy is pretty hard to float.
But the people who the president of the United States, kids should be able to look up to him. Kids should be able to look up to the president of the United States.
But Sandy,
say, hey, I want to be like him.
No, that's not what he's there to do. I mean, I'm not saying that. I
didn't say that that's what he's there to do. But you can't. So you're saying that a child in school should behave in a way that's different or better than the president of the United States?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because the moral standard. Sandy, hold on a second. Just a second, Sandy. Sandy, hold on a second. Listen. The president of the United States is not there to be the morality in chief. Ideally speaking, Sandy, let me make a point, okay? Sandy, just let you called. I knew you were going to disagree with me. I'm okay with that. That's why I had you on the show. But just let me make a point here. President Trump is not the first immoral man to be in office. In fact,
they're talking about morality.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're talking about being able to choose good from bad, right from wrong. That's what we're talking about. When you're talking about the children of the United States of America looking to the office of the president to say, I want to be like him, you're talking about moral authority. And the president of the United States, Donald Trump is not there to be a moral authority. It's very nice if he is. Just like, are you turning her down? It's just fine. You could turn her down because I'm not going to hang up on her. We are going to go to a break here, but I don't want to hang up on her. This is the point. President Trump is not a perfect man. And I have yet to see a perfect man in office. And I know that the alternative to Donald Trump in 2016 was not a perfect woman. There are massive moral questions that were involved with Hillary Clinton. And I guarantee you, if Hillary Clinton were the president of the United States right now, Democrats all across the United States of America would be pointing to the woman in the Oval Office telling their daughters that they could be just like her. I will never ever raise my daughter to be just like Hillary Clinton. And as a matter of fact, there's opportunity. No, hold on, Sandy. You're not yelling at me. I'm not hanging up on you and you're not yelling at me. There is not a moral authority requirement for the president of the United States. And if all we are going to invest in is moral character assassination of one another and picking out everybody's wrong, at the end we'll all have fallen because none of us are perfect. The president isn't. You're not going to hear me defend his moral past on the show ever, but he's a better president than Hillary Clinton is. He's a better president than Hillary Clinton could ever be, and that's why he is in there and having success. His policies are better. That's what the president of the United States is there for.
I didn't say that the president was the moral. We should look up to them for moral whatever. You said that. I'm talking about his language.
Sandy, I know, but you call in the show when I'm asking you about how he should tweet. You call in the show and your first response to his tweets is about what the children of the United States of America should be able to look to the president and emulate. And what I'm telling you is that is a liberal argument that I get on the show with regularity, and it's a bad argument.
It obviously isn't just a liberal argument because I'm not a liberal.
Well, then, are you an independent? Are you an independent?
Yes.
I believe it.
Is that the fact of the matter is that the president shouldn't be going around calling people dogs.
What kind of policy? Which one of the other Republican primary candidates did you prefer? Which one? McCain? Kasich? So you preferred Kasich, and what were the policies that Kasich stood for that you appreciated?
And the thing is, the other thing you talked about was Omarosa. No one likes Omarosa.
That's true. I know.
But Trump
Sandy, two things. Sandy, hold on. Two things. I'm way past Sandy. Sandy, two things. I'm way past my break time. I have to go to a break. And secondly, your signal is starting to cut out. It's very hard to hear you. I appreciate you calling the show. I appreciate you listening to the show. And I appreciate the fact that your perspective and your opinion is completely different than mine, and you're still willing to stand up for what you believe. Thank you for calling in the show. Please keep listening. And the next time you call back, and I hope you do call back, just make sure your phone line is good. We'll check that first, too, when we screen your call. Sandy, thanks for calling. Click. Yeah, she's gone. You can't call in the show when we're talking about the way the president is tweeting, and we're actually kind of criticizing the president here, and then tell me that I should be looking at how my children are going to look at the president of the United States and make that a decision on how I'm going to vote for the president when Hillary Clinton's the other option. I got to go. I'm way over time. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, or 866-455-9797. Phone lines are yours as soon as we come back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Join 97.1 at the inaugural Vet Fest Live on Saturday, September 1st for a multi-entertainment event celebrating veterans and their families. The all-day festival in House Springs kicks off with a golf tournament, followed by live country and blues music, world-class barbecue, local sports celebrities, and a charity bike raffle from Gold Star Harley-Davidson. Plus, meet Vet Fest founder and author Mark Green and learn about the Warriors Code movement to help veterans and their families. Get details on Vet Fest Live at 971talk.com.
STL Fence Works, forget the fact that they are a 47-year-old company. Forget the fact that they work really hard to take measures to save you dollars by doing things like fabricating your own vinyl fence and buying maintenance-free aluminum and steel fence in quantities large enough so that they can pass on savings to you. Forget the fact that they're working really hard all the time to commit themselves to quality to provide you that lifetime workmanship warranty on all their fence and deck products. All of that stuff is great, but when you want a fence or a deck installed at your home, you want to make sure that at your home, people are coming onto your property that you walk outside and you feel comfortable talking to. You feel like you can ask them questions about the progress. You feel like you can ask them questions about, maybe a specific area of your lawn that they're going to be working in, or the deck and how it's going to look over on this spot, or how you're going to be able to fit this over there. You want to be able to have all of those questions asked in a comfortable way. STL Fenceworks is committed to this uncommon level of customer service when it comes to your home. They want to make sure that you're comfortable and absolutely satisfied when the project is finished. You can visit them online at stlfenceworks.com.
Tell me, when did the nightmares begin?
It was when Diamonds Direct opened up here in St. Louis.
Interesting.
Everything was going great in our jewelry store. We owned the radio advertising, we had awesome profit margins, we were knocking off the top designers with mass-produced rings, and nobody cared. And we were able to get by with a bare-bones inventory. Then Diamonds Direct came along with more selection, better quality diamonds, and the real designer rings that all women are asking for. And actually no middleman prices. They turned our world upside down.
If your jeweler is experiencing anxiety, it's because Diamonds Direct has disrupted their world with prices, selection, quality, education, warranties, and guarantees never before offered here in the Show Me State. Before you make that purchase at the same old place, come make some new friends at Diamonds Direct.
I have nightmares that everyone in St. Louis leaves us and only shops at Diamonds Direct.
I understand. Close your eyes and relax. I'll be right back.
Wait, where are you going? I'm not finished.
Diamonds Direct! Dummkopf!
Diamonds Direct, where St. Louis gets engaged. Olive and 270 at City Place. place.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Mention the code word SAVAGE for a super secret squirrel savings on things that we're not supposed to put on sale.
Did you tell them we have 511 and Oakley tactical gear?
I did not.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-262-2917 to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
See what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Yeah. Think that your man gonna let yourself be free. Oh, freedom, freedom,
Do we know how Aretha's doing right now?
The last I saw was that she was not doing well.
Hospice? Did I
I
see
heard
hospice?
gravely ill. I heard hospice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that the family, the last statement from the family that I saw, but it was this morning, was, yes, gravely ill.
This woman sings like nobody else sings. Listening to her, like, and it's almost like, you know, when she was performing in the last few years, it was still magnificent to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just
the voice
yeah,
never went away.
The pipes on that woman are
People
fantastic.
Magazine posted a news story just 6 minutes ago that says family members have flocked to her side and that she is in hospice and seriously ill.
Does it say how old she is?
76.
76.
Seriously ill and surrounded by family members.
We've been talking about this poll that we have on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Go vote in it. Let us, you can comment your thoughts, or you can just vote and it's anonymous. Every time I say the word anonymous or unanimous, I have to think and make sure I didn't say the wrong one. It can be anonymous if you vote on it. And share the poll, too, and encourage your friends, if they're into that type of thing, to vote on it as well. Do you think it would be wise for President Trump to be less aggressive in his tweets? Comment why below. Right now, with 175 votes, that just changed. This is in real time. That's fancy. 59% say yes, that they'd like him to be less aggressive in his tweets. Notice in this question, or in this poll question, I'm not saying, do you want him to stop tweeting? Tony, you were saying that you think it would, if he were to change anything, that people would criticize him for that.
I voted
as well.
no because I personally would like the president of the United States, not Donald Trump, the holder of that office. I would not like that position to use some of the language that Donald Trump uses. However, I voted no because that's who Donald Trump is, and I'm afraid that if he starts to try to change his approach,
You don't want him to lose. It's just
People
like
are going to accuse him if he stops tweeting or stops insulting on Twitter. Democrats are just going to say, liberals are just going to say, people that disagree with him already are just going to say, well, now he's being insincere. Now he's being a different person.
Ronald Reagan's re-election campaign, and I know. I watched this on a CNN documentary. I was alive when this happened, but I was youthful.
I won't hold my
still am
opponent's age against him.
Well, the first debate in his re-election campaign, there were people who were really micromanaging. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to be. This is what you're going to say. And it was like, wow,
it was terrible.
It went poorly. And wasn't it the next one where he came out and said, I'm not going to use my opponent's inexperience against him?
Because he was so scripted and they had wound him up so tight, and he was trying to remember exactly what he was told to say, and here's exactly how you answer these questions. And it wasn't him, and people thought, he's losing it.
Yes.
He's not himself.
And then they let him loose the next time.
Maybe there's something wrong
classic
with his
Reagan. The difference here is that
he won re-election at that moment.
Yeah. And what his campaign was trying to control, it ended up taking out his charm and his personality. The president, however, there's personality. I don't know that it's charm. Not
on Twitter.
No, not on Twitter.
We've heard he's very charming in person.
Yes.
I've heard
every single
reports.
person that I've ever talked to that's met him and had a sentence or more conversation with the president is like he is engaged in you when you talk to him. 314-241-9797. If you'd like to weigh in on this, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Jay, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, Annie, I listen to you all the time.
Thank you.
I do think, and I totally disagree with all your views.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a Democrat. I've always been a Democrat. My dad's a union man.
Yeah.
My dad cannot stand this president. But I feel that the president does make himself look less effective when he goes on these Twitter things.
Mm-hmm.
The things that he does, and I get it, things have changed in 8 years, but the things that this president has done, if Obama had done any of those things, the man would have been removed from office. And that is the problem I see in this, is the hypocrisy.
Like what? I'm curious. I want to make sure I understand exactly where you're coming from. Doing what things?
The things? Well, for one, going over and speaking to Vladimir Putin and the treasonous acts of taking his word over our intelligence agencies about the meddling in the election.
But Jay,
that was a treasonous act. No president has ever met that man, and there's a reason why. And then he goes over and he talks to the gentleman from North Korea, and he played us for a fool, and we look like idiots on the world stage.
Jay, did it bother you when President Obama was it Medvedev, when he said that he'd have more flexibility after his election? Did that bother you?
Yes, it did. It did bother me.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because I understand your frustration. I understand what you're saying. I might disagree with it, just like you said you disagree with me. I could disagree with you, and we can still talk to each other. But the thing is, the difference here is that if for a second that they would have, if Donald Trump would have been caught uttering those exact same words to Putin himself or to one of Putin's dignitaries, it would have been done for Donald Trump. And it was a footnote in the story of the Obama presidency. That's the difference. And that is why, whether it's right or wrong, and I'm here saying I wish he would kind of tone down the rhetoric on the Twitter. The reason why people are so frustrated and so angry and permitting this type of verbiage on Twitter is because they're sick and tired of that double standard.
And I get that, Andy. Like I said, I listen to you, and
why do you listen? If you disagree with everything, I'm just curious.
Why do I listen? Well, for one, I'm an Uber and a Lyft driver, and I do a lot of driving, and I'm out and about, and there's not a lot of stuff on the radio, so I like to hear the poll. I listen to all politics. I listen to Fox, I listen to CNN, and I make my vision and my choices are made based on what I hear. I'm not swayed by any one station. I make my decisions, and I vote based on how I think things should be.
Yeah.
And I'm very active in politics. I've always been. And one of the things that bothers me, and then I'll let you go, was when he came over here to Granite City, and I live in Granite City. I was actually told by my boss, I'm not going to divulge where I work, but I was told I could not give my opinion about what I thought about things when I was at work because they know how radical I can be at times. I have a very strong views, and whenever he got out there and he made the statement that they were going to be building 6 more plants, they're not going to do that. And my cousin is the president of the United Steelworkers, and he was in Pennsylvania when all this was going on, and he said that rally was very there was not one Democrat, workers that were Democrats were not even allowed to go to work that day when the president was in town.
Really?
So to me, that was a very
I was there. I mean, I was, there was a lot of security clearance you had to go through in order to get in the event. I never had to tell people what my political party was, but I'm interested. I'll talk to some people about that, see if they didn't allow Democrats to go.
Yeah, well, because I know for a fact there were 3 workers that were basically told not to come to work, and they're actually filing grievances with the union over it because they apparently their views were being heard from other workers, and they said, we just don't want you to come to work. And if that happened, shame on them for doing that, because all views should be heard.
All right,
that's
Jay.
Exactly how I feel about that.
Hey,
But
thanks for listening. We appreciate you too. Nope, we got one line open here, 314-241-9797. Quick break, your phone calls as soon as we come back.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Let's go back, let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you couldn't have been too much more than 10.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. It'll be more humid today. Some morning sunshine, then mostly cloudy this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm, high 84. Rather cloudy and muggy tonight with a couple of showers, even a heavier thunderstorm, low 72. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid, some showers and a thunderstorm. Some of the rain can be heavy, high 81. Thursday, clouds, some sun and humid with a shower or thunderstorm, the high 88. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is Chrome. Text the word Chrome to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's Chrome to 72881. Message and data rates apply. One national entry will be drawn. Don't text and drive.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. A portion of every HVAC installation goes to Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up today at gslhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Who wants to spend 2 or more years in braces? Now with Fast Braces, your time in braces can be measured in months, weeks, or even days. Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Omas with Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. As an exclusive provider of the innovative Fast Braces and Fast Braces Turbo orthodontic systems, my patients can have their teeth straightened in less than half the time of regular braces and at almost half the cost. Fast Braces is comprehensive, non-extraction orthodontics, creating a fuller smile, enhanced airway, better bite, and a more stable result requiring minimal retainer wear. Fast Braces is also safe for children and adults of all ages. Got an important event coming up soon, or just dread the thought of wearing braces for years? Find out how quickly you can have straighter teeth and a terrific smile by visiting FastBracesUSA.com for your complimentary consultation.
Dr. Omas practices general dentistry and has more than 25 years of experience in orthodontics and dental orthopedics. He is not only a senior master provider, but also the first and only turbo-certified Fast Braces provider in North America, designating him as the expert in Fast Braces technology.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to why Drew from Afton referred Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage to family members.
We first contacted Michael several years ago when we bought our house. Got a great rate, service was terrific and everything. And then just recently we refinanced. Michael was extremely knowledgeable, experienced, friendly, and accommodating, and just real easy to work with. We never felt like a number. We knew right away we were in good hands. And we did our research. We contacted several other companies, and Michael actually got us the best rate. He saved us a lot of money. In fact, we were so pleased that when our son, daughter, and our nephew were ready to buy their first homes, they all went to Michael as well. So Michael's sort of a member of the family.
Call Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. That's 314-336-6050 or at communitymortgagestl.com. Community Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 224143 and 250353.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Wednesday, will there be a convention of states, and what does that mean? We'll talk to one of the organizers. Plus, Genevieve Wood and Keith Antone on the bottom line.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the show. I'm going to try to get through as many of these phone calls as I can. So, Rick, Don, Joe, Neil, and Mark, I'm going to get to you. Just make your points quickly. Thanks for calling in the show. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? Can you what? Hello? You can call me Annie, since that's my name. Go ahead. This is the opposite of fast. Sorry, I'm moving on. I can't handle that. Rick, thanks for calling in.
Hey, Annie, how you doing? It was nice to talk to you a week ago. I spoke to you.
Oh, well, thanks for calling in again.
And I'm so glad that I came on after the guy you just spoke to, because I told you I grew up in a union family and used to be Democrat, and I walked away from it because I started getting educated.
Yeah.
And I realized that listening to that guy, probably 90% of the people that were over there that were workers were Democrats that were at the over at Granite City, and that I don't know where he got his numbers at, or I didn't really understand him. It was like, all you want to do is yell at
you. Said that the one that said that Democrats weren't allowed at Granite City Steel?
Yeah, about 90% of the people that were the workers there were Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of them that got to go. I wish I'd have been able to go, but I didn't. And
so you're saying, Rick, just to clarify, Rick, you're saying you know Democrats that went to see Trump at Granite City Steel?
Oh yeah, they were there. They got in. It's Most of the people over in Grand City are Democrats.
Yeah.
And some of the workers there, he basically said that's where he worked with his brother in Pennsylvania doing whatever he did, and that trying to hide where he worked.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to hide behind the shell. Like most Democrats hide for who they really are, and they wear these masks and doing all this stuff. I'm so glad I'm away from it. I'm so glad. I mean, the reason I was calling is, and he got me riled up. But I was glad you said it. If Trump would have said to Putin what Obama did, he'd be out of office. They'd have done everything they could to crucify him and that. But the reason I'm calling is my dad and I had a long conversation because I still can't get him to listen. I try to show him facts, try to show him things, but that old generation is so locked in, they're not going to give in. They're going to go to their graves with it. But one of the Republicans, back when they impeached Nixon, I remember back then, I don't think a Republican got elected for a long time, 6, 7, 8 years, because everybody just stayed away from him. And, it's a shame that we could actually make a big change in this country if the Republicans will get off their butt and start prosecuting these people and letting people know exactly what I was taught for 30 years or more, and that how great the Democratic Party is. And I know there's bad people on both sides,
mm-hmm.
but you're looking at, I can name 15 right now that should be indicted, should be going to jail, should be going to court. You're wasting your money on this witch hunt and Manafort right now.
Yeah. Rick, and I got to let you go because I want to get to a couple other calls here, and I really thank you for calling in. You talk about your dad and being set in his ways. The honest thing you need to do is just be willing to have a conversation about these issues and let him argue with you and be kind and be calm about it. I get comments on our Facebook page and on Twitter when some people call in the show and disagree. And I got to say, Jay wasn't yelling at me. Jay says he drives around town and listens to the station to educate himself, and he disagrees with everything I say, and that's fine. He was very chill about the fact that he thinks one thing and I think one thing, and that's totally cool. But the conversation is what is important, and I think that needs to continue to happen. Real quick, Mark, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, good afternoon. First-time caller, first time I heard your show and enjoyed it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Neither a Democrat or a Republican. When I think of the Republican Party, I think of anti-gay, anti-abortion, pro-religion. Our president used the GD word in his tweet. I've never in my life once said that word. And I'm thinking, if we're focusing on his tweets, that's horrible. You shouldn't have said that.
But Mark, let me challenge you a little bit here. I mean, I don't know how much you associate this president with the Republican Party, but the leader of the Republican Party right now, whether anyone likes it or not, is Donald Trump. And, when you talk about being pro-church or Christian or whatever, those types of things, those don't really stem from somebody like President Trump. I don't know if the church if the party that you're referring to, I don't know if that exists. And
the evangelicals who back him. Now, how can they go to church and walk up to the table of the Lord and take communion and support someone who tweets the GD word and then uses judgment like calls someone a dog?
But Mark,
that's not right.
I'm a Christian, so let's just talk about me right here because I can't answer for everyone else. Okay. I'm a Christian, and I still support this president, but I don't support every single choice he makes. I don't support everything he does. Just like if you listen to the show, if you like what I do, if I make a mistake in life, and I'm gonna because I'm not, I'm a sinner. That's not going to reflect on everybody who listens to the show, and,
right.
and there's sin in the world, and if you're talking specifically about Christians, if there's one thing that Christians should understand, it's sin and the need for a savior, and I think that's separate from politics, and I certainly don't think that anybody in politics is an exception to the rule of the sin and needing a savior scenario.
But there's so many Republicans that are anti-gay and anti-abortion. It's like they're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
But I want to make a distinction here, which I think, and I'm extremely anti-abortion. I am very anti-abortion. I'm extremely pro-life. But when it comes to the anti-gay statement that you're making, that's not a Republican platform at all. There are Christian denominations that don't believe in homosexuality being part of God's design, but that's a religious question. It's not a political question. And the truth of the matter is that men can marry men in this country now. Women can marry women in this country now. It is the law of the land. And it isn't a party platform anywhere in the Republican Party to be anti-gay. If you have a problem with the religious portion of it, just understand the separation between the religious aspect of it and the political one.
Then the Republican Party should come out and announce that that's wrong, because there are candidates that are out there saying jail the gays.
Who? Which one? I need to talk.
Maybe Connecticut. I think it's Connecticut. There's one of them out there that says jail the gays. In fact, there's an article that says 28%.
But Mark, listen to me. I think that's reprehensible. I think that's awful. But you're talking about one guy in Connecticut. That's not the Republican Party.
There's many. Look at the Secretary of State, how he's come out and said things. Look at Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions, the same thing.
They're saying things based on religious. Listen, Mark, it's an important distinction here, because people have religious beliefs on that. If they happen to have religious beliefs and also have political beliefs, that doesn't necessarily mean one motivates the other.
And I would be totally Republican if the Republicans would come up and stand up and for us and say, hey, you can't say stuff like that. You can't say throw gays in jail. You can't do that. I would, because I do agree with Trump on a lot of stuff. We need strong borders. I agree with his policies with China and North Korea and stuff. We've done the same thing for 30 years. That's the definition of crazy. He's doing something different, and I agree with that. I don't agree, and I don't appreciate him texting the GD word. And I think that all the evangelicals that back him are bigots.
Mark, I appreciate you calling in the show, and I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate your difference in opinion. And what I'm going to say to you right now is that the Republican Party isn't anti-gay. And if you're associating every evangelical with Republicans, I know a lot of evangelicals that are not Republicans. And I know a lot of Republicans that aren't anti-gay, or that aren't anti-gay. I don't want to get my negatives crossed there and say something I don't mean. There has to be an understanding of holding multiple sets of beliefs based on separate things that don't intersect, and a personal religious belief. I mean, good grief, if you're paying attention to the Sixth Commandment, you're not even supposed to look at another man or woman with lust in your heart. That sin is equitable. So that's religion. Nobody's trying to criminalize lust. So keep them separate. And if someone's saying that, it is reprehensible, Mark. I appreciate you calling in, and I just want to make that distinction. People hold those beliefs in separate ways. The Dave Glover Show is coming up next. Go vote on our Facebook poll. There's still a little bit of time left. Do you think that it would be wise for the President Trump to be less aggressive in his tweets? Yes or no? Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show.
I'm not a America's sweetheart.
Try to think back to 30 years ago when gas was just 91 cents a gallon. The bank would pay you 10% on a CD. Pretty sweet, right? But what if you retired 30 years ago and you based your retirement expenses on those prices? Imagine how you feel today. That's the new reality. Steve All and Mel Brandon at the All Financial Group are hosting a series of workshops called The New Reality in Retirement. How do you keep up with all the changes in markets, Social Security, tax laws, interest rates, healthcare, and more? How do you make sure you don't run out of money? How do you prepare today for what might be a very expensive tomorrow? The next workshops are starting soon, so reserve your spot today to learn more about retiring in a new reality. The number is 636-230-8824. 636-230-8824. Or find the dates and locations that work for you at retirementwealthacademy.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance, including annuities, licensed in Missouri.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Mark Close here for Britain Vision. When you have a procedure done, like medical procedure, there's always the before and after. We went to Britain Vision. My wife Fern and I, Fern had had some eyesight problems for a while now. We went in, we had a pre-meeting, if you will, with Dr. Brinton, and it was great because he explains everything and he answers all the questions. And Fern had some problems, with driving and night vision, and then she had to put her specs on to see distance and the reading and all that. We thought, you know what, it's time to do something. And you're a little hesitant at first because this is your eyesight. Even not me, of my wife, but I'm still hesitant about it. We sat down, had the meeting with Dr. Brinton, and just felt really, really good about it. Fern went in, had the procedure. It took literally 20 minutes. She walked out. I was waiting for her. She walked out, and you could see the smile on her face because she was seeing things she had never seen before for a long, long time. If you want to find out more, check out BritonVision.com or give them a call at 314-375-2020.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
A radio.com station.
Fighting fire with fire. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. His spokeswoman says that's what President Trump does and that there's nothing racial about his attacks on a fired aide who's attacking him in a new book. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
Sarah Sanders defending the president and his harsh language directed at former White House aide Omarosa Manigault Newman, in which he referred to her as a lowlife and a dog.
I think the president is certainly voicing his frustration with the fact that this person has shown a complete lack of integrity, particularly by the actions following her time here at the White House.
President Trump's campaign organization has filed an arbitration claim against Manigault Newman, claiming that she broke a 2016 non-disclosure contract by disparaging the president in her new book. Lisa?
Meantime, John Omarosa says she doesn't think she violated any agreement, but also tells MSNBC she'll let the lawyers sort it out. Closing arguments set for tomorrow morning at the trial of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, as the defense rests without calling any witnesses, including Manafort himself.
One of the big moments today was this morning when Paul Manafort, for the first time, stood up in the courtroom and he went to the podium and he exchanged a sort of a short conversation with the judge, who said to him, have you talked to your counsel? Have you been advised of your rights? And he indicated to the court that he has chosen not to testify.
Fox's Catherine Herridge at federal court in Alexandria, Virginia. Outside the courthouse, Manafort's attorney saying he doesn't think prosecutors have met their burden of proof in the case. Manafort is on trial over past business dealings. He denies any wrongdoing. Wall Street bounces back. The Dow up 112 points at the closing bell, snapping a 4-day losing streak. The S&P and the NASDAQ also higher. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything.